Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to the race watch-along for the 2025 Canadian Grand Prix. Yes, we're in Canada. Did you know? We're in Canada. Very much looking forward to this one, as always. It's one of my favourites of the year, so you could take that one to the bank as well. Very much looking forward to watching these cars around Canada. It's going to be, hopefully, a cracking race. We've got a cracking grid as well. More on that in just a second. I'll do some shout outs when people start arriving in the chat. I don't know what's going on. I'm very slow off the mark today with the stream and everything, even though I've been ready all day. It about sums me up perfectly. How are we all doing today? Yes, Martin Brothers on his grid walk at the moment. Hey to Kevin, says no question. Other will win. That is the poll, of course. Who's going to win at your top three on the grid? And then other can be any of the other drivers. So Russell, Verstappen, Piastri. Verstappen winning at the moment, by the way, which is interesting to see. Hey to Pascal. Good evening to everybody. Let's have a cracking race. Definitely hoping for a cracking race. Kevin says happy Father's Day to everyone. Yes, any fathers out there, happy Father's Day. We're celebrating that in the UK today and elsewhere, of course, not just in the UK, but I know other places celebrate at different times. So there we go. Hey to Max, to Fud as well. To Astros here. Hey, Astros, it'll be fun to see Antonelli come from a few places back. Absolutely. I think we're going to have some comeback drives today. So I think we're looking good. We're looking good for some comeback drives. Hey to Warners. To Gustav says my hope is on Piastri. April, hey April again says happy Father's Day. Hey to Gustav. I say hey twice to Gustav. There you go. And hey to John as well. Has other won a race yet? Not in the polls, no. Not that I can think of. Hey, Jithu. Hope you're having a good day as well. So, yeah, we'll run through the stuff. Just a couple of things. First things, same as yesterday. If there's a little bit of extra noise in the background, the fans on. I forgot to put a noise gate on yesterday, so it would have been even louder yesterday. So, shouldn't be as bad today, but it's still warm, but not as hot. Also, hay fever's playing up, so if I suddenly just sneeze all over you all, I'm sorry. I love you, and I apologise immediately. Also, Ferrari shirt today. Way better than the Aston Martin one. That'll do. Anyway, let's not say any more than that. Trance is rooting for Lewis, but have no faith in Ferrari. Welcome to the club. I'm sure you've been in it for a while now, Trance. Max is a 200 Grand Prix Haas livery is very nice. Perfect to the white. Prefer to the white one, to be honest. I agree. I think it looks better than it does on the 2016 car, funnily enough. But anyway, Davey as well. Hey, Davey. We'll get rid of the bots because I'm not doing that today. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Do bots have nice days? Who knows? Who knows? Max says... Well, Davey says Max for the win, Oscar second, Russell third. Let's run through the grid and everything like that then, and see how we are doing. So there have been changes since yesterday. First of all, though, George Russell is still on pole position with that cracking lap out of almost nowhere, it seemed yesterday. Looked like Verstappen might be the one to beat, and then in comes George Russell and goes, nah, mate, that's mine. Second on the grid is Max Verstappen. If you're on social media, you'll be fully aware of what the front row is because it's all anybody's talked about because everyone's decided they absolutely will collide at turn one. Whilst the drama would be fun, I'm kind of sat here hoping nothing happens and it's all fine and everyone just shuts up. But anyway, Oscar Piastri third and Kimi Antonelli in fourth place. Lewis Hamilton fifth. Fernando Alonso in sixth. That is one. I think Crofty was saying 700 odd races between those two, and it must be about 80 combined age of 84, 85, something like that. So. A lot of experience on that row. Watch that will be the one that comes together. Lando Norris is 7th and Charles Leclerc in 8th. They could be on their way back through today. Alex Albon in 9th. Saw somebody say yesterday, you know Williams are having a good season when you see a Williams in 9th place and you go, they could be higher than that. Franco Colapinto, by far his best qualifying since returning to Formula One with Alpine. Nico Hulkenberg up in 11th place. We'll get on to why in just a moment. Isaac Hadjar is your first of the penalties today. He dropped 3 places from yesterday for that impeding on sites. We kind of knew that was coming, didn't we? So not a great surprise there. 13th for Ollie Bearman, 14th for Esteban Ocon. It's 15th for Gabriel Bortoletto, 16th for Carlos Sainz, 17th for Lance Stroll, and 18th for Yuki Tsunoda. He gets that 10-place grid drop. They haven't taken him out of Parc Ferme, which did surprise me. I thought they might go for some setup changes to make it a bit easier maybe with overtaking, but no, he's going to start in 18th place. We've got 2 drivers starting from the pit lane. Liam Lawson, who's changed a raft of engine components. He's out of Parc Ferme, so he's in the pit lane, and Pierre Gasly made changes outside of Parc Ferme too, so he is starting for the pit lane too. So an 18-car grid, 2 in the pit lane. It can be quite a chaotic couple of corners in Montreal. at the start, if you remember. I'm sure so you can think back to Alex Wurz in 98, for example, and the restart after that as well, other races too. So it can be quite chaotic. So maybe actually starting from the pit lane, if you're in the middle of the pack or somewhere around there, not the worst thing in the world. Having said that, I think Gazzy would have been about 19th, wouldn't he? So maybe not, but he's not lost much from where he qualified yesterday. Strategies, good news if it happens. Pirelli reckon it's going to be a two-stopper today. Big key thing to remember if you're new to Formula One. Canada, very short pit lane because you cut the final chicane to enter the pits and then you miss the first corner. And really, you miss the second corner in some ways. You're on the outside of it, but you're not braking for it. So you do miss quite a few corners. It's quite a quick pit lane. So you're not going to get the penalty that you might get at another track with a longer pit lane. So 2 stops is the way to go by the look of it. There is the possibility to start on the softs. Pirelli saying 8 laps to 14 laps on those. Then it's 2 sets of hards to the end, which doesn't sound thrilling, does it? But yeah, some may have to do that. More on that in a second. But they reckon we're looking at a medium start, 15 to 21 or 18 to 24. Then into the pits for a set of hard tyres, then either put another set of hards onto the end or go in mediums. But every single strategy is a 2-stop, although they have put a 1-stop option up, which is mediums 24 to 30 laps, then hards to the end for a 1-stopper. Don't forget these are very soft tyres as well. These are the softest they can possibly be in F1, so no hard tyres here really. In terms of tyre allocation or whatever that's left, interesting thing I didn't notice yesterday, Max Verstappen has no new medium tyres. All he's got is 2 used. I don't know what the life is like on those. So they might be okay. If they've only done like a qualifying run, then they should be okay to use, but nothing new. Whereas Piastri, Norris, Leclerc, Hamilton, and Tsunoda, for what it's worth, have got new medium tyres. But everybody in that top end of the grid there have got 2 sets of the hards available that are new as well. So I would imagine, looking at what people have got left, let me know what you think. We're probably looking at a medium hard for most. Or a hard medium hard or something like that. 2 sets of hards and a set of mediums. I'd be a little bit surprised if... Again, it depends on what life is on this tyres, doesn't it? So let's see. But yeah, obviously everybody who didn't really get very far in qualifying has got lots of new soft tyres available too. So they might come into play with safety cars. And it's interesting in Canada because you could... They were speculating on Sky about the idea of maybe Lando Norris starting on a set of hard tyres and then running long. The problem is if you get a safety car at the end of the first lap, you compromise then. So I can see a lot of people preferring a medium just in case you get that early safety car. But an early safety car on either tyre, look at those strategies, might actually mix things up quite nicely. It might even lead to a 3-stop, you know. I'm not convinced you get 2... Well... You could get 2 sets of hards at the end, couldn't you? Yeah, you could, I suppose, but I'd hope for 2 or 3 stops today at least, but we'll see what happens. But safety cars do occur. Since the safety car was introduced properly to F1, 16 races have been affected, 38 deployments overall. It's a lot. I also, that's a lot of information to take in right at the start of the stream, but we get that out of the way. Now we can do a bit of Q&A. We'll do some predictions as well. Usual disclaimer immediately right now, no on-track footage for obvious copyright reasons. We'll have the timing from F1 Multiview or Multiview for F1 with the track map and my beautiful face. All for you. I tell you, the bots are very biased, aren't they? They've only got one channel they can offer. You know, if you're going to come and bot up my stream, at least that sounded wrong. At least come on here and start offering different, you know, options for TV channels. But anyway, it's gone. I've sorted it. I'll try and keep on top of it if I can. But that sounded very wrong. Let's see what you're saying. I missed qualify for Le Mans. Looking at the grid, what says Duckrut? Oh, you missed F1 qualifying for Le Mans. Did you see the race though, Duckrut? I did have it on last night, and I watched it this morning and kept popping back every now and again, and then watched the ending. What a moment! I know he didn't win it on his own. Spoiler alert! I'll give you your spoiler alert for Le Mans if you haven't seen. You really care and you don't want spoilers. I know he didn't win it on his own. He's with his teammates, but what a story for Robert Kubica, right? Oh. That guy, he's such a likable guy. He was such a good driver. He still is, clearly. And his story's phenomenal. So to pull that off in a Ferrari as well, given the links to, I think he had an agreement, didn't he, to race for Ferrari in 2012 before his accident, of course, in 2011. And to do that in a Ferrari, I mean, what a story. So what a drive. I mean, first of all, everyone who took part in Le Mans, Congratulations. Everyone who got to the end, congratulations. I couldn't do that. No way. But it's fine. Apparently it looks like Kevin's talking during the anthem. Do you want me to sing it? Here we go. No chance. But yeah, no, great stuff for Robert Kubica, or what do we call it? What was that outtake I shared with you? Bobbert Kubica, that was it. Back in day. Bless him. Really happy for him. Good race as well. But yeah, I think I heard in comms. I don't get to watch it properly every year. But I think they're saying in comms that it wasn't the dramatic ending or the chase down ending they tend to get. So I don't know whether that was a good race or what, but I enjoyed it. So there you go. Exactly, John Jones. There you go. Do you think we get an early safety car? We see drivers pushing more, says Rocket P Bird. Do you think if we get an early safety car, we see drivers pushing more? It might have the opposite effect because they might want to conserve tyres because they've got to get them further in the race. But what an early safety car will do is throw some strategies out the window, which tends to mix things up. I'd like to see someone try and do what Max Verstappen did. Not necessarily the same thing, but sort of something different to those around them. Maybe try and push for a 3-stop as if it work, or even try and force a 1-stop. It was just to give us some variety. I don't want everyone pitting twice around the same laps. We want to have some fun. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But early safety cars, very possible, particularly down at that run to turn 1. I think last year, just thinking back, didn't an Alpine and Sergio Perez come together down there? They're just showing a replay of a few years ago. Grosjean and a Toro Rosso. Remind me who that Toro Rosso was that went flying in there. Is that the Carlos Sainz? It is indeed, yeah. On the run to turn 3, that's another pinch point, if you like, where we could see some drama. And then, of course, there was 2018, where was it 2018? Stroll and Hartley came together. I think it was. It would have been 2018. So, first full year with the channel. So yeah. So let's see. Someone said that Kubica's in-car reaction to winning was like receiving a free beanie with a Happy Meal. Yeah. He didn't look... it's like, is his radio working? He didn't exactly start jumping around, did he? Which I suppose you can't do in those cars, but you know what I mean. You'd expect a reaction, but he's quite chill, isn't he, is Robert Kubica as well. So I'm sure he was very, very happy with it. I should have put some pictures in the stream. I didn't find any, though, unfortunately. So, I'm lying to you. I didn't look. I thought I didn't find any. There were loads on there. I just didn't look. F1 Academy had 3 safety cars earlier. I saw the highlights beforehand, Pascal. It looked like it was just utter chaos for F1 Academy this weekend and today. So let's see what's happening. I have Sky muted, by the way, as they throw back to the punditry of Danica Patrick, and they're talking to Toto Wolff. So... they're both traumatised by their car breaking down the last couple of years. That's true, yeah. He did break down, didn't he, late on? I think, did they reference that on the radio, Nilesh, as well? I think they did, didn't they? Sort of 5 years ago, this happened, and now you've won it, mate. I mean, just such a great story. So well done to everybody involved. But it's... yeah. Robert Kubica, of course, who had his highest and lowest F1 moment at this track in 07-08, says Max. Funny thing is, right, Robert Kubica just loves a comeback, and he does it in style, you know? 07, hell of a crash. If you've not seen it at the hairpin, it's wow. Has to miss the next race, which, funnily enough, gives Sebastian Vettel his debut. And then a year later, he wins at the track. You know, it's like it's what Robert Kubica does. But that reminds me of my favourite press conference moment from Canada in sort of the 21st century, let's say, when a journalist asked Robert Kubica, have you seen the crash back? And he replied with, yes, I also saw it live when I was there. And I was like, do you know, that's the kind I like that kind of guy. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. F1 word quiz name every driver since Sean started. Since I started watching, Kieran. Every driver since Sean started watching please don't, chat. I can't keep up with that. I just close you for half an hour and let you all get on with it. That's a lot of drivers. If you mean like since I started now, then it's still the 20 we've got out there, so it's all good. But yeah, a couple more points then before we start setting up, because we are about 10 minutes away from the start of the race, or the start of the formation lap specifically, which is sort of the start of the race. It's F1 things. No, it's not on ESPN. Only the replay tonight is. It's on ABC. See, even the bots can't get it right, Trance. It's a disgrace, isn't it? Appalling. What's this coming to? What is this world coming to? They talk about, you know, dead internet theory, and they can't even get it right. Can we get an F in the chat for the rabbit last night? Says Jamie. Yes, that was. Didn't they list it as a retired car as well, or a retired driver? Let's say. Which was interesting, very interesting. I watched parts of Le Mans. It's one of those things, I can't sit and watch the full 24 hours because, contrary to popular belief, I do have some sort of a life. It's not much of one, but I do have some sort of a life. But I do tend to drop in for sort of half an hour, 45 minutes at a time, and then I always watch the last hour. So that's what I do. So. I watched a bit more of it yesterday, I think, because it was live this weekend. It's something to talk about, isn't it, as well? So let's do some predictions. That's what we'll do. Give me your top three, your podium. Yesterday, I think I said... Did I say Verstappen, Piastri, and Hamilton to go a little bit bold as well and throw Ham in there? But probably going to be the three we have there, but in some sort of order. I think... I mean, it'd be quite nice to see Russell win, to get another different winner this year. I tell you what, though, I was thinking about this earlier. If Lando Norris was to have an incident on the first lap and didn't score today, and the top three stays like that in any order, that mixes things up quite nicely. Piastri looking hot for the championship, but then you've got Verstappen and Russell snapping at Norris's heels. I mean, that could get interesting, couldn't it? So, yeah, I mean, long old way to go. Is it 70 laps? I seem to think. I did do a whole preview on it and told you all about it, but there you go. Something like that. Lots of laps, so we'll see how we go. But I'm feeling good for this one. I think the grid's nice. We've got fast cars at the front, of course, but we've also got it mixed up there. But you've got Norris, you've got Leclerc out of position. We've seen... Yes, he's struggling in that car, but Tsunoda, when he starts towards the back end, he is capable of coming through and do some overtakes. So that's interesting. It's a fun track as well. It's also a proper driver's track, which makes it enjoyable, and everything else to go with it. So don't forget, by the way, if you are a Sky Glass customer, you can press the red button now to go to race control and watch the race on delay, as we all want to do, and in a tiny box in the corner because you want to look at everything else. Use multi-viewer. It's better. If you can. So let's have a look. So Russell and Max to crash, says Hansi. They don't make bots like they used to. They don't, do they? At all. Russell and Verstappen having a crash off the start would objectively be very, very funny, says Max. Yes. F1 should race at Le Mans, but have F2 and F3 race at the same time, says John. Rocket P-Bird says Verstappen, Leclerc and Hamilton for a top three. Russell, Verstappen and Norris for FUD. Neither Haas will finish, and Max will be involved in an incident that is not his fault. There you go. And then, I see where you're going, FUD, and then we'll get the internet going, it is his fault. Let's blame him and give him 1 whole point because we're desperate to get a race ban. Yeah. Because we all want to see the best drivers on the grid banned for a race, don't we? That'll really help the viewing figures. But anyway, Alonso, Hamilton and Sainz because I love chaos, says Jamie. You never know, Jamie. We'll always be positive when it comes to Williams, unless they start winning again, and then I might have to start disliking them, but we'll see how we go. Piastri P1 says Gustav. Leclerc will be flying through, says Hansi. Piastri, George, Max in that order, says Diogo. I want Alonso to win, says Kevin. I think if Alonso wins today, we're all going mad, aren't we? We're all going mad. And Diogo says Alonso will make my year. If George wants to instigate a penalty, he'll have to survive until lap 1. Leniency ends, says Nilesh. And Pascal says Russell, Piastri and Hamilton, and points for Sauber. There you go. Who would race if Verstappen was banned? There's the topic. I did a short on it, Kieran, the other day. It'll be, I would imagine, Liam Lawson. I don't want Hadjar in that car at all, because one bad weekend could really, really knock him back, and could quickly change people's opinions. So let him stay in that Racing Bulls for the season. Leave him alone. Let him get on with it. Liam Lawson, already been in that car. Give it a go. It's the better car. He might surprise us all. And then I'd imagine it'll be Ayumu Iwasa in the Racing Bulls, because he is their reserve driver. They could use Arvid Lindblad now, of course, but I'm not sure that that's worth the risk either for one weekend. So Sebastian Vettel, because why not? There you go. I'd love that. Yeah, I would love that. That'd be the best way to cover it off, you know. If you lose Max Verstappen for a weekend and you put Sebastian Vettel in that car or something, that'll bring people in. But yes, we are. Is there even a chance that Max might get a race ban? Says Gustav. Yes, he only needs 1 penalty point for a ban, so that could be anything. Do track limits call penalty points anymore? I don't think they do they? So that's okay, but it could be any sort of incident. I don't know what the pit lane speeding thing is. That might end up being a point. It could, it could happen, but I'm hoping not because, yeah, I just am for obvious reasons. But the music has kicked in then. We are ready. So let's start getting all this timing set up. As always, live timing is provided by the awesome folks over at Multiviewer for F1. Thank you so much to those guys for allowing us to use their app to bring you all this great visual stuff. We obviously can't show any of the race live because, you know, copyright law exists, I'm afraid, and until that's gone, which it never will be, but until it's gone, there's nothing I can do about that one. So it'll be a track map and timing, but thank you to those guys. Links in the description as well, of course, if you want to have a look at Multiview for F1, and you can customize your viewing experience, that's the phrase I use, with as much or as little data as you like. And as I always say, the more the merrier, because you know, we want to watch the racing, but it's always nice to have all the information in front of us as well, isn't it? So there we go. But we are getting ready for the start of the race now. So just a couple of minutes away. Well, 4 minutes before we get going specifically. So yeah, Iwasa's Japanese. That's a good point. The Honda tie in there as well. That's a good point. Could be interesting. But yeah, Danny Rick comes in to replace Max. That'd be one for. The trouble is as well, the FIA, I think the FIA might be quite lenient on Max Verstappen this weekend. I might be using my words in 2 hours' time, but do you want to be banning him ahead of the Austrian Grand Prix? Let's see. Risk of rain. Look, these rules had teeth when it came to Kevin Magnussen. Are they going to have teeth when it comes to the world champion? That's the ultimate test, isn't it? But here we go. The starting grid for the 2025 Canadian Grand Prix. In the pit lane, we've got Pierre Gasly and Liam Lawson. I don't know why I say his name like that. I just do. Yuki Tsunoda, 18th. He's at the back. Interesting mix of tyres. We'll get to that in a second with Stroll in 17th place at his home Grand Prix. He's back. Carlos Sainz in 16th. He was not happy with Isaac Hadjar, of course, in quality for that impeding, for which Hadjar got a penalty. Bortoletto in 15th. The two Haas boys, 14th and 13th. 14th for Ocon, 13th for Ollie Bearman. Hadjar drops to 12th with that 3-place grid drop for impeding Carlos Sainz. He's got Nico Hulkenberg just outside the points. Can he go back-to-back points for Sauber this weekend? That'd be good. Franco Colapinto starts in the top 10. Wouldn't mind him getting points this weekend with Alex Albon in 9th. Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc line up on the next row together, 7th and 8th. That could be a fun fight through the field with all the experience ahead of them of Lewis Hamilton in P5 and Fernando Alonso in P6, the combined age of about 904 there. Kimi Antonelli is in 4th place with Oscar Piastri in 3rd, and then it's the blockbuster front row everyone's talking about. It's Mr. Spatial Awareness versus Max Verstappen down into turn 1. Very much looking forward to this one. George Russell, by the way, will always be Mr. Spatial Awareness to me. It was an interview he did a couple of years ago where he said there were like 3 drivers on the grid that lacked spatial awareness, and I was like, are you one of them, George? Because I'd argue you do sometimes, but there you go. They all do when they want to do. Yes, very much. And also, I keep saying that Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso are old. I think Fernando's 4 years older than me and Lewis is 1 year older than me, so they're not old at all. They are young. They're still babies. Please, let me claim this one. There we go. Oh, this could be fun. Ready for this one. Please do drop a like, by the way. 30 likes on the stream. 170 of you here. Let's see how high we can get that before the start of the race. And subscribe if you are new as well. Lots to come this season. Just a reminder, no roundups this weekend on social media because there's nobody on the ground or we've got nobody on the ground. There are people in Canada for the race, of course. We're about to watch it, but we've got no one on the ground this weekend. They'll be back for Austria. So, yes, there'll be a short tomorrow on the channel, then a video on Tuesday, and then we'll go from there for the rest of the week and see how it all pans out. So, yes. Very much ready for this one. Tyres-wise, by the way, we have got an interesting mix. So Russell, Verstappen starting on used mediums, but they've only done 3 laps on those tyres, so they are relatively new. Piastri starts on a new set of mediums, with Antonelli on an old set with 6 laps on them. Hamilton on new mediums. Alonso has a set of mediums with 4 laps on them. Norris and Leclerc are going for the hard tyres, so keep an eye on those 2. Brand new hard tyres as well. 4 laps on the medium for Albon. 5 laps on the used medium for Colapinto. They're starting on those. Then it's fresh mediums for Hulkenberg, Hadjar, Bearman. And then we've got hards all the way down to Pierre Gasly from Ocon. And they're used for Stroll and Lawson with a lap on each of those. So nice mix of this. Nice mix. Got to be a two-stop. I'd be surprised if it's not a two-stop. It's quite hot as well, by the way. And, but, you know, take hot. I don't know what the climate's like where you are, but 23.1 might be boiling for you. It might be nothing but for others. But there you go. 23.1 is air temperature. 49.9 track temperature. So it is hot, but I think we're about 49 yesterday on the track temperature. So it's up a little bit, but it's not scorching just yet. So this could be fun. George Russell on the track map there, the driver tracker, which I think is working okay as they all leave the grid. I'll wait till they come round and we'll just make sure that's working. Yes, we're on the move. Jolly good. And I think we're pretty nicely synced up as well with TV and whatnot. So, yeah. I'll do my best to keep you updated, of course. I will do the countdown for the lights, but I'm not really... I know I end up commentating. I'm not really here to commentate. We're here to watch along together. It's why it's called a watch along. It's quite clever. It's very, very good. We watch the race together. We'll talk about it. We'll be sarcastic. We'll laugh at everything. We'll argue over stewards' decisions. We'll all fall out, and then we'll come back again in 2 weeks and be best mates again and crack on with it. I'll tell you what, George Russell left quite a gap between Verstappen and Piastri and co. So quite a quick first half of the formation lap there from George. He's backing up now at the hairpin, but that did seem to take a little while. We are slightly off here on the feed, methinks. Am I wrong on the TV? It happens from time to time. Because George Russell's already well past the hairpin, so I think we're a little bit too far behind, aren't we? So let's see if we can change that quickly. Not sure. Let's refresh it and see what's happening here. Because George Russell is definitely well past the hairpin. So let me get this synced up. I'll do it while we're on the formation lap. It's the best time to do it. I don't want to be faffing around later on. So we've got Stroll at the hairpin. Again, yeah, the driver track is really far behind. So I'm not quite sure why that is. So I'll keep bringing it down time-wise and see if it'll work. But sorry about this. So Max and George have stopped on the grid, so they are ready to go. I may have to play with this during the stream, unfortunately, but Lawson and Gasly just going to the hairpin, apparently. I'm not sure that's correct. They are really spread out. I was just thinking that, Kevin. So Fuddy's having the same issue with his, so maybe it isn't. So if it's an F1 TV issue, there's nothing to do about that, unfortunately. So apologies in advance for that one, although they have just shot in the pit lane now, so it might sort itself out. So I'll keep an eye on it. Let me know if we're well out, and I'll try and do what I can, but I can't. There's not a lot I can do. I've literally got the time delay button, and that's all I've got to play with. So everyone is on the grid. I'll do what I can to keep updated. It's all there as a visual to help, but I don't think we're too far off. Here we go then. Green flag at the back. 1 light, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. It's lights out and away we go in Canada. George Russell gets a good start and cuts off across to cover off Max Verstappen. Quite a today. So look at Kimi Antonelli around the outside of Oscar Piastri in turn 1. And Piastri has a championship to think of here. He doesn't want to be causing any problems there, but he will just about stay ahead. But Antonelli is still side by side on the run down to turn 3. Is he going to keep it in there, Kimi? He is indeed. And Antonelli moves into 3rd place. Hamilton stays 5th. Alonso has still got Norris behind him. So a great start there for Kimi Antonelli, but actually fairly sedate elsewhere at the moment. So let's see what happens for the rest of the lap. But really good start for Anthony. Have Mercedes got the race pace today? That's the big question. The big question. So great move from Anthony. We are, yeah, absolutely so far behind on the driver tracker. So apologies, but I can't do a lot about that at the moment. I'll try and see if I can do something with it. But oh, and there's some bang of wheels, and there's some the grass kicked up there between an Alpine and a Williams. That'll be Sainz, I think, possibly. No, it's not. It's Albon, Hadjar, and Colapinto scrapping hard there. But Nico Hulkenberg's up to 9th place, by the way. So really impressive stuff there from those guys. Max Verstappen, the driver tracker's all over the place. So I'm not even going to look at that now. So ignore that, I think, the driver tracker. Just keep an eye on what you can on TV. I'll do my best to keep you updated, but it's a little bit behind on that one. So George Russell does lead. Verstappen, Antonelli, Piastri, Hamilton, Alonso, Norris, yes, it is Norris. Leclerc, Hulkenberg and Colapinto is your top 10. Tsunoda's at 1. That's Hadjar battling again with Alex Albon. I think he's still ahead of him, is he not? He is, yeah. Hadjar is ahead of Albon, so good stuff. Well, there you go. How many poles has... I think Russell's got 6 poles now, hasn't he, with this weekend's pole? I think. I might be wrong. Here we go, then. We're on board on the helmet cam with Alex Albon, I believe, chasing down. They didn't have a graphic on there to tell me that was. That threw me off. I think it was Albon because he was looking at the back of a racing ball, so that'll be why then. But yeah, great start for Hulkenberg, by the way, up into 9th place, 2 places gained. Albon's lost 3, so not going off the line there well at all. We'll see some replays on the first lap, I'm sure. Stroll's down 1. Max Verstappen is a second behind Russell now, and 9 tenths clear of Antonelli. So 16-4 for Verstappen, marginally quicker that time around than George Russell. So there you go. Track surface slippery in turn. Track sector 13, not turn 13. So that'll be where all that debris was kicked up there. Yeah, I think it was Albon that did the rallycross. So we'll see what happened there. But yeah, I think the driver tracker is as close to going to be able to get it. It's at 0, so I can't get it more up to sync than that. So apologies on behalf of F1 and Multiview, I suppose. Come on, F1, sort it out. I'm not having this. We are on lap 3 of 70. Long old way to go in this one yet. So let's hope that it is going to come alive. But it looks like it is at the moment because Max Verstappen now coming back at George Russell. 7 tenths behind now. So don't forget a long DRS down to the final chicane. That activates. So they've already gone through the detection point. Verstappen will have DRS. Detection point here is really weird. It's just after turn 9 and it's for the long straight DRS and the start-finish straight DRS. So quite a strange position for that at the moment. But Verstappen is closing in on Russell with that DRS. Half a second is a gap. We need to look at the leaders, TV, Mr. Director, sir, because Verstappen is right behind George Russell coming out of that chicane. We are on board with him now. In fact, I think the drive track is now ahead of the TV, which is hilarious. But anyway, I'll sort that out in a second. Yeah, Max Verstappen is closing in on George Russell. He's got DRS. Green flag. It's clear in sector 13. So now Verstappen coming back in. But I'll tell you what, the McLarens, I know they do tend to, don't they? Look after their tyres early doors in these races. But they don't have the pace at the moment. Really, they're not bad. They're 16.7s, but you know, the leaders... Oh, Norris in the 17.3s, actually. That's not great. The leaders are in the 16.2s and 16 flats. So we'll see what's going on here. This is so strange. I can't work this out with the syncing, but I'm trying to watch the race and sort 3 things out at once. So bear with me a little bit. But yeah, here comes some wheel banging, says Kevin. This is it. What round is this? Verstappen versus Russell? There was a Baku one, wasn't there? There was a Vegas one. I think we're about synced up now. There we go. Norris is on hards. That's true. Yeah, that's true. So he's going to run a bit longer. So he needs to look after them and maybe... The trouble is he can't drop too far back from Alonso to look after those tyres, can he? And keep out of the dirty air because he's got Leclerc right behind him. So that's keeping him honest at the moment. But yeah, what was the strategy-wise? So 15 to 21 on the... Or 18 to 24, depending on what they're using for the rest of the race. So that's where they're going on the mediums. And then you've got... the hards can do what, 25 laps, so you can go a little bit. It's not, I don't think there's much in it, but we'll see how that all shakes out. Crofty making a point there that, of course, if he's in this dirty air here, Verstappen is going to get a hot car. Piastri being told plan B, by the way, so I'm assuming 1 stop. Look after his tyres. 1.8 behind Antonelli. Got a gap over Hamilton. Not much of a gap, though. Hamilton will soon be in DRS if he's not careful. Maybe look after those tyres. Keep everything cool. Pump some water through them. That's tongue-in-cheek. Don't take it seriously. Yeah. Look after those tyres and then maybe try and stretch it to a 1 because a 1 stopper might be enough to win him it. Maybe McLaren do need to think a little bit outside the box this weekend, perhaps. Oh, yes. Sorry, Fabian. Thank you, Fabian. I keep forgetting to do that. Appreciate that. Let's do that quickly now before they get down the straight. I did forget to change it to best lap. Last lap, sorry. I got all excited about everything. There we go. That should make a bit more sense now. Like you say, no point having best lap in the races. So there we go. All sorted. So Russell, only half a second over Verstappen. So these two pulling each other along here. but they're going to be eating up their tyres, aren't they? Because they are pushing hard. I mean, Russell's done a 15.8. Verstappen a 15.9. Antonelli's in a 16.1. Piastri's a 16.3. Hamilton a 16.5. So they are pushing hard, these two. So these must be two stopping from here. It is only lap 6. They've got time to back off and look after them, but maybe that's why they went with the used tyres. Just use them up, get rid of them. But also the fact that Verstappen didn't have any new mediums probably helped that decision. But yeah. Intriguing. 18 seconds for a pit stop, Martin Brundle was saying in comms there. So already, Norris is half that behind the leader. And Leclerc's 11, nearly 12 seconds back. So that's soon. I tell you what, actually. Looking at as Russell breaks DRS to 1.2 seconds, if you look at the pack, it's not. There's a couple of gaps there. Norris to Leclerc's starting to build to a bit of a gap. Nearly 3 seconds. But behind that, it's so close. Hulkenberg, Colapinto, and Co back. Not big gap. In fact, less than a second between pretty much every car in that train until you get down to Lance Stroll, who's 1.7 behind Tsunoda. So that's going to be tough for the leaders. Maybe that's why Russell and Verstappen are pushing now. Build that gap to the midfield so they're not dropping into traffic later. Maybe that's what they're thinking. Better to pit twice with the short pit lane and not get caught in traffic than conserve tyres and end up behind a bunch of cars you can't overtake. Maybe, just a thought. Yeah, it was quite a sedate start. Is harsh because there's Alonso and Norris squabbling down to turn 3. I'd say through up the inside of Piastri, and then it was later in the lap where you've got Colapinto and Albon going toe to toe. But Russell's reaction time was 6 thousandths quicker than Verstappen, and that's what it looks like as he disappears down to turn 1. That was key for Russell. And then behind him, Antonelli. Oh, yeah, so Piastri nearly held on to it with Antonelli on the inside, but Antonelli got such a good exit and then just took it to the inside. There's no point Piastri battling that around the outside of turn 3. Championship to think of, but also that's only going to go one way. And then this was the fight. So this was Albon and Colapinto side by side. Albon cuts the corner at turn 7, turn 8. Oh, got a bit of air there as well. And then rejoined. Did he hit? Oh, he did get some air there. That's mad stuff. And is that rejoining safely, do we think? It didn't look all that safe and in control, did it? But I just need to see the whole thing because it looked like a bit further down we had a car on the grass. Oh, yeah. That's how Hulkenberg snuck through. Cheeky. Good lad, Nico. Through he goes. Pascal will be happy with that. But yeah, that looked... again, we didn't really get a proper shot of that. It looked as though Colapinto got a bit of a squeeze from Albon then when he came back on. So, but yeah, he got a bit of airtime there, which was fun. We always like a bit of airtime. Not necessarily good for F1 cars, but it's good for us. We enjoy it. Russell 1.4 clear at the front now, by the way. I don't know what that noise was. There you go. Is it physically possible to rejoin safely if you're literally flying, says Neelish. Well, no, but then you're not in control of your car, are you? So, oh my God, there's an F1 movie out. Who knew? Oh, wow. That's as excited as I'm getting for it. 60-year-old Brad Pitt's an F1 driver. And we're all asking Fernando Alonso to retire. God. Yeah, we've got a nice bit of DRS train here. Hulkenberg's just on a 16.9. Jamie just said Hulkenberg is flying. Just a 16.9, which is about half a second off the lead pace, which in a Sauber isn't bad at all, is it? He's just a 17.3 to shut me up, though. But yeah, he's sort of... I'm not going to say he's the cork in the bottle, because he's 1.5 clear of Colapinto. So... maybe Colapinto's is the cork in the bottle. I don't know, but it's intriguing there, isn't it? Where are the battles then? Well, we've got this massive train of DRS train. English, maybe. Between Hulkenberg, sort of behind Hulkenberg, but really behind Colapinto and down. And then we've got the battles. Piastri says front degradation is better than FP2. Rear degradation is worse. So there's some info for everybody to keep an eye on there. Traction. Yeah, you've got the hairpin. Yeah, traction's important here. I was just trying to work out what corners were, but I think it is, like Pirelli said. as much anyway, but you don't want your rears falling away too much. But yeah, the battles at the front, I mean, Russell's starting to pull away now. 1.6 is Verstappen thinking long game now that he's not got through. Antonelli 1.2 back, Piastri 2.1 back, Hamilton 1.7, Alonso 1.3, Norris 1.4, Leclerc 3.5 seconds behind Norris now, and 2.5 clear of Hulkenberg. So we have got some gaps at the front, but it's all happening behind Franco Colapinto, who's going to be desperate to hang on to that point, isn't he, if he can. That Sauber is not just green anymore. Looks like they have some performance, says Sighting Canvas. Yeah, the updates for Spain, they worked, didn't they, in Spain? And I did wonder if that was going to be a track-specific thing. But actually, here this weekend, they have got some pace, and that's good to see. The more the merrier fighting for points. Makes it interesting, doesn't it? So... don't forget as well that Russell and Verstappen did both start on the used mediums, but they both had the same life on them. So there's no advantage to be gained there in that battle at this stage. Except Russell does have all the clear air in the world, doesn't he? So, yeah. Who is your favourite driver, says Amphis? Oh, gosh. Of all time, Michael Schumacher, hence the Ferrari fandom, because obviously they were the glory days, weren't they? These tyres are not great, says Leclerc. That explains why he's dropping off so much. On the current grid, Verstappen, probably out front. Leclerc, obviously. Anyone who drives a Ferrari is going to get my support. I do like Leclerc a lot. Followed him for his junior career as well. So, in fact, one of the first videos on the channel was me talking about how great Leclerc had the potential to be and why he should be in F1. And the next year he got a seat. So, there you go. And I really like Oscar Piastri. But I don't know if that's because... I think it's because he's chill. But I think it's because I kind of wouldn't mind him winning the title this year, because it'd be nice to have an Australian world champion for the first time since the 1980s. So... there you go. Obviously, Stoffel Van Dorn is my favourite of every driver in the world ever, but he's not in F1 at the moment, so... yeah, not good. Very fragile, Max Verstappen says, when asked about his tyres. Not his mental state right now, but it was his tyres, so... Glory days with Senna, Prost and Schumacher when he was just starting, says Kevin. What was I watching the other day? Oh, it was Spain. As we have a look here at Norris having a go at Fernando Alonso at the hairpin. He has got alongside him, and he'll have the DRS as well, so this should be pretty easy for Lando now down that straight, and he is finally past Fernando Alonso. Said, are we going to get some movement now from Lando Norris? We have to say, I think it was Spain, it was Mansell versus Senna. I think Schumacher was in a Benetton at that point as well, so... Russell 2.1 clear of Verstappen, by the way. Antonelli now right on the back of Max Verstappen. As the Haas of Verstappen burnt through those tyres. I did wonder if he backed off, but he wouldn't want to fall within DRS of Antonelli. Could we really be looking at Mercedes 1-2 today? Who had that on their bingo card at the start of the week? I don't think many will have done. So Norris, Alonso goes quite a wide line at the hairpin. That allows Norris to sort of sneak in there early, and he's already got the DRS anyway. He's alongside and just breezes past. There's the DRS opening, look, and down the straight, and past he goes. Into 6th. So he's 3.3 behind Hamilton. Now we'll wait to see what happens. Do I say this and jinx everything on lap 12? I'll hold it back. I'll not say it yet. Monitoring a small issue, similar to Barcelona with the power unit, but not as bad, Albon is told on the radio. So, yeah. Antonelli had a go, but Verstappen's pitted, so Verstappen has pitted. I wonder what happened then. It's such, if you've not seen Canada before, it might have thrown you as well. Yeah, I always forget that obviously Antonelli brakes and Verstappen keeps his foot in, doesn't he, for the pit entry? So it always looks quite strange when you've got Antonelli going for a move along the outside, and then there we go. Marta says Stoff had a shocker in Le Mans. I don't know, 12th place. Someone had said to me that Peugeot had no chance when I joked about Stoff winning. So to be 12th, I don't think it's awful, but yeah. He didn't win it. I know that for sure. We've got the Haas drivers squabbling here. Bearman and Ocon. Bearman behind Ocon at the moment. So Verstappen drops to 9th, so he's behind Hulkenberg. So that's not quite worked, has it, for Verstappen? He's 3.1 minutes. He's got the gap to Hulkenberg, so he has got some clear air to push into. But I thought they might go a bit longer and try and get ahead of Hulkenberg. But I suppose just avoiding that whopping great DRS train is the way to go there then. So they've decided to go for it. He has cleared some traffic, but he's still got Hulkenberg. But I suppose easier to pass one Sauber than two Haas's, a Racing Bulls, a Williams, and an Alpine. So, that's a chance on the inside there on Bortoletto from Carlos Sainz at the hairpin. I'm getting confused by the Williamses. Yeah, there we go. It is, yeah. Into the pits comes George Russell, had to respond, which means Antonelli leads the Canadian Grand Prix. Safety car, safety car, safety car, safety car. I'm joking. Antonelli leads in Canada. Of course, Canada, a lot of drivers like to win their first ever Formula One race in Canada. Or Russell needs to get ahead of that Sauber. He is just going to do it. He's ahead of Verstappen as well. So Hadjar's in the pits too. So lap 12, 13, 14 for pit stops. So about what they said, I think. Is that a little bit early? It's a little bit early, a couple of laps. Not massively, but it is slightly early, so there we go. Piastri now 1.4 behind Antonelli. Obviously, that's going to... I wonder if Piastri starts to push now. Let's have a look at sector times. Norris 21.2. Norris now has pace. He's only 1.4 behind Hamilton. It was only 2 laps ago. I think it was 3 seconds behind, so he's bringing that down now. Thought he might. Hulkenberg's in DRS of Russell, so might fancy causing George some problems, but I doubt it. Russell has pitted. This is plan A. We need one of those amazing races from here, is what Norris has been told by his engineer. One of those amazing races, strategy-wise. What's he done? Antonelli's going to pit as well, by the way. It's this traffic, isn't it? We said it earlier in the race, didn't we? So, if they can clear that DRS train. Hard tyres going on for Antonelli. Not a bad stop, I don't think. 2.4 seconds, very nice. Colapinto in as well, so that's going to unleash quite a few drivers behind Franco Colapinto. So we might start to see some pace now, which could cause people problems. Sorry, so he's asked about how long the hards will go for. So 20 laps-ish, 20 to 25 laps, I think you're looking at. But that's only a projection from Pirelli, so that could obviously change. I mean, it came in early for the medium, so maybe take a couple of laps off that. But you've got to race the race around you, haven't you, strategy-wise? So if you need to beat traffic, you need to pit to beat that traffic. Then that's what they'll do. But yeah, hards will go a few laps yet. But here's Norris right behind Lewis Hamilton here, coming out the hairpin. He's going to get DRS down the straight. He's easily going to breeze past though with that DRS open. Hamilton's pitting at the end of the lap, by the way. So Norris is going to brake for the chicane, and then Hamilton's going to go flat. Yeah, there we go. Had to back off. So that would have cost him a little bit of time there, Lewis, unfortunately for him. Verstappen's passed Hulkenberg, but it's still got Alonso to clear, who has now pitted, so that helps Verstappen out a little bit. Where's Max ended up behind George Russell? Is it 1.9 seconds? 2 seconds. There we go. Hamilton in. Alonso in as well. 2.3 for Hamilton. What's Alonso's stop going to be? He's the only luckiest man in the world. So probably 9 minutes, but no, it's 3.2 seconds. Not awful, but not great. Hamilton's going to come out. Is he behind a Haas? He is indeed. Ouch. So you see, that's the problem. As soon as Colapinto pitted, that midfield have picked up the pace, and now drivers are dropping into it. So he was obviously further back anyway, but like 15 to 24 was what they said for the mediums. So that's about right for Hamilton in the end. 16.3 for Charles Leclerc. I was just listening to Martin Brundle there talk about the leaders in the 17s. He says they need to be in the 16s. Leclerc's on the 16.3. So he's quicker now. He didn't like those tyres, did he? But he's getting on with them now. We're going to see Max Verstappen overtake. Is that Nico Hulkenberg ahead of him? It is indeed that lovely Sauber. Horrible colour. It's that final chicane. All good. Piastri pits. So there's no way Piastri's one stopping. So Piastri's definitely 2 stopping. Are they going to try and push Norris on a 1 stop? Of course they are. Fresh set of hards for Piastri. Off he goes. I'd be surprised if anyone makes a 1 stop work. What do you think, chat? I'll come to you for some comments in just a sec. So good shout, actually. Fudd says worse for Hamilton is Ocon's on the hards. He's going long. Yes, he's got a few more laps yet, hasn't he, as Esteban? So that is frustrating for Hamilton, 1.1 behind. So that's going to cost him. Lewis in a Haas switch. So Haas switch. That's a... I don't like that word at all. I'm sorry, Sighted Canvas. I do not like that word at all. I'm going to time you out for that. I'm not really. No way Lando does a one-stop, says Jamie. Horrible for Hamilton, says Fudd. As Antonelli clears Nico Hulkenberg for P5 on those hard tyres. So, Leclerc quite hard on the inside there. I'm not going to say that, Fudd. It is probably better than Haas switch. Haas switch 2. Norris is just going to the final chicane. Leclerc just behind. And, well, I was going to say, pretty close on times last time round. They set the identical time. And this time around, Leclerc a couple of tenths quicker. Just going to see here. This is the replay of Carlos Sainz. Whoa, through it. Up the inside of Bortoletto. Big lock-up and nearly... ran him off the road there, so a bit aggressive there from Carlos, but all good. No contact. Carry on. We're here to race, so stop panicking about it, Crofty. If he slams him in the wall, we'll have a conversation, but otherwise, get on with it. Let's go racing. Wow, Carlos, says Kevin. That's exactly it. Like, chill, mate. Chill. He's up to 11th, though, Carlos Sainz. Obviously, has some pit stops in there, but let's say that only 3. Alonso, Colapinto, and Hadjar have dropped behind. Alonso's... Sorry, I've just realised where Alonso's come out. That really has shafted him, that, hasn't it? All of those ahead, apart from Ollie Bearman, in that gaggle, are on the hard tyre and running long, and Fernando Alonso is stuck in traffic behind them all. That's not worked out well, has it, for Fernando at all? At all. That's a shame. Piastri here going to have a go at Nico Hulkenberg into the chicane. Done well before that, to be fair. Through he goes and up into P6. Norris is leading as Piastri does a 15.5. 6 tenths quicker than the leader as Bearman pits. Wow. So Piastri's flying out there. Intriguing. But Alonso, yeah. Crofty's now picked up on the Alonso thing as well there. So it wasn't just me having a moment. It was a slightly long stop. It was 3.2 on the time, wasn't it? Or something like that. So a slightly longer stop, but not... Well, I suppose if you've got like gaggle of cars, 1 second is a lot, isn't it? In that difference between a couple of positions, that, isn't it? So, yeah. Frustrating for Alonso, but of course it's a DRS train, so it's gonna be harder to get through. So, oh dear, Fernando. Pastry's cooking. He is indeed. The problem for Hamilton is that Ocon has DRS. This Hansi, good point. Yep, he's got the DRS. In fact, everybody has in that. Let's have a look. Stroll to Bortoletto. Well, Ocon's got DRS on Albon. Sainz got DRS on Hamilton, actually, by the way. And Hamilton has a little look at the hairpin. Not going to throw it in there, though. There's a gap to Tsunoda and them to Bortoletto. Then it's Stroll, Lawson, Gasly, and Alonso in a DRS train. So, and that's actually Ocon passing Alex Albon for P8 as Nico Hulkenberg pits. So that might help Hamilton if... Well, no, because... well, no. There won't be any DRS, will there, for Albons? Here we go. Here goes Lewis Hamilton to the outside on the run to turn 1. He'll get through there, and that is all done. Nico Hulkenberg in the pits, like I say. Yes. Oh, Sainz is having a go at his teammate here. It's turn 3. Is he going to get through? He is indeed. Albon hasn't pitted. He's done 23 laps on the mediums. I suspect Williams are going to try and do one of their famous let's go as long as we can and just make it a one-stopper thing, but which is, you know, very commendable to try something, but also he's losing so much time. I mean, everybody behind him up until Gasly is in the 170s. He's in the nearly 90s, 118.8s, and everyone ahead of him is substantially quicker. So I don't really... He's going to lose so much time trying this. With it being a shorter pit time loss here, he may surely better, unless he's safety car hanging. Team ready for Albon. I don't really know why you don't listen to me. It really annoys me, says Albon. Practically for the day, he gets to drive for Ferrari, maybe. I don't know. Of course, he has nursing an issue, isn't he, as well? So that could be why he's so slow. And there we go. Lewis Hamilton passes Esteban Ocon into the chicane with that DRS help down that back straight and up into 7th place. So critical move that. Alonso now to 14th. He's coming through now, but I think he's lost a lot of time, hasn't he? So a shame for Fernando, actually. Yeah, Killjoy says PU issue for Albon. I thought he mentioned about it. Yeah, it's a similar issue to what they had in Spain, apparently, according to the radio, but not as bad. So they are nursing an issue, but it's not as bad as it was in Spain. So he retired in Spain, didn't he, with it? So he's just going to get... We're on board with him. Let's have a listen. He's on the radio. He's not happy. Wow. Albon's saying, do not box now. Do not box now. You can't do all that and then just box. He's not happy, is Alex Albon. Yeah. Yeah, I was just going to say exactly what Martin Brundle's saying. They've got him to run long, trying to see how far he can go and maybe stretch it to one stopper. Then he's taken all the pain of having to suffer on those tyres and lose positions and just drop down like a stone. And then they try to pull him in. That puts you in no man's land. If you commit to a strategy like that, you may as well just commit to it. But he's just going to lose so much time. And he's now dropped behind Tsunoda. Bortoletto now 999 behind. Yeah. Not a good day for Alex Albon at the moment. Hey, Red Raven. Hope you well, mate, and having a good one. Enjoying the race so far. A bit of a... It's one of those intriguing ones at the moment. Trying to work out who's doing what strategy-wise. Norris maybe going to try for a one-stopper. We'll see. But Albon's just dropping like a stone. Look at this. Through goes Tsunoda. DRS wide open. Off he goes. If you are in the chat, by the way, and you keep seeing these bots, I will keep banning them, don't worry. Don't go looking for ESPNTV.com because it's not on ESPN, apparently. It's on something else, so there we go. Ignore it. I will keep blocking them. Or I'll try and keep an eye out for them anyway. Curious says, I thought the race started at 8. Could I get a rundown? You can indeed. We are on lap 23 of 70, so 48 to go. First and most important point, there's a movie coming out, if you didn't know. There you go. Lando Norris currently leading, yet to stop. He started on the hard tyre, so that's why he's up there with Charles Leclerc in second. He's also on the hard tyre, so they're running long. Russell was the leader, pitted. He did 13 laps, didn't he, on the mediums. Verstappen did 12 laps. They have pitted and they're down the hard tyre. They're third and fourth. So at the moment, net 1 and 2. Antonelli actually passed Piastri at the start as we watch Alonso battling with Alex Albon there. But yeah, Piastri and Antonelli had a scrap on the first lap. Antonelli got through. Hamilton, he's in 7th place. Ocon in 8th. He's yet to stop as well as Esteban Ocon. 9th for Sainz. 10th for Tsunoda. 11th for Bortoletto. They're all yet to stop. Alonso was running nicely and then pitted and had a slightly long pit stop, an extra second, which dropped him into the back of a DRS train. So he's only just getting through that now, which is frustrating for him. Alex Albon nursing some sort of issue similar to the one he had in Spain, but not as bad, according to his team. But they've tried to run him long. He didn't want to run long. He's unhappy. They now want him to pit. He doesn't want to pit, and they're all falling out. So he'll be buying him a beer a little bit later for that one. Lance Stroll in 14th now, right in the back of Alex Albon. He'll be the next one to breeze past him in a straight line. In fact, let's just watch from Stroll here. Yeah, you can see, I mean, Albon just turning in to the hairpin is twitchy, and then on the exit, the back end is getting away slightly, so he's not comfortable, is he? So Stroll's going to move into 13th now, and Albon drops 14th. Lawson's 15th, Gasly 16th. They both started from the pit lane after being pulled out of Parc Fermé. Hulkenberg 17th, Colapinto 18th. He had a bit of fun with Alex Albon on the first lap as Albon pits. Albon actually cut the corner at turn 8 and got a bit of air, and there was a bit of pinch there with Colapinto. Hadjar 19th and 20th for Ollie Bearman at the moment. Albon pits, but yeah, yet to stop. The lead 2, Sainz, Tsunoda and Ocon, or Ocon, Sainz and Tsunoda, and then Bortoletto, Stroll, Lawson, Gasly, all yet to stop as well. Everyone else has pitted once, so there we go. Hey Craig, I hope you well, mate. Having a good one. Plan B, Leclerc is told. He says, I think plan C. So the team will suggest plan D. He'll then want plan A, and then they'll want plan E, and then eventually they'll settle on plan Y, as always with Ferrari. So I think we are looking at Norris and Leclerc trying to go for a one stop, but also the 2 stops still available to them, of course, because if a safety car was to come out in the next couple of laps, they're still sitting quite pretty. So because they'll have some nice fresh top. Well, everyone will pit, but then they won't have to go as long, and yeah, it's going to be, I don't know, we'll see. But safety cars could change this. But at the moment, sedate's the wrong word. We have that great drone shot at turn 3 and 4 because these guys are doing 180, 200 mile an hour in these cars. So it's not sedate, but you know what I mean. Not a ton of action, mostly through the pit stops and fast cars moving back through the pack. But it feels like one of those. Is it a slow burn of the phrase where it's all going to kind of come together in the last maybe 20 laps and just all go. Yeah, shit, it's the fan as usual in F1, so that's what I'm expecting. But it's not been dull, I will say that. There's plenty going on as Stroll pits. Drops to 19th. So Leclerc's now got Russell right behind him, 9 tenths behind. Verstappen's closing in as well. So Leclerc, we're about to join the Charles Leclerc train here by the look of it, but fresher tyres on those other two. They should cruise through. That gap to Lewis would be nice if they make it to a one stop, says Jamie. What's the gap? Yeah, 26 seconds. Wow, I mean, it's 18 seconds for a stop. So it's a very tasty gap, isn't it? Between Piastri and Hamilton, they fall back into. So a bit of clear air potentially. But still 16.4s. I mean, Russell 15.5, Verstappen 15.7. So the pace is there on a new set of tyres. I'm just not. It's the short pit lane conundrum or short pit lane loss conundrum. Are you gaining this time back? Is it better to get on those tyres and pump the laps in? Because I'm just looking at the way it's unfolding now. Even if Norris and Leclerc one stop, they're going to have to take that next set of tyres, which will have to be a medium, much further in, on a very long run, take it to the end. If Russell and Verstappen have another fresh set of tyres on, we've seen here what they've done. They've just closed the gap up. Will they just do that again? But I suppose then they've still got to overtake, haven't they? So I don't know. These four could all come together, not literally, right at the end of this race. And here goes Russell with the DRS wide open, breezing past Charles Leclerc with DRS. Russell's got some pace today. I was a little bit worried that it was just one of those one-lap pace things for Russell yesterday, but no, he's got the speed. And now it's Norris for him. And it's a 15.2. 15.2 for Russell, a 16.3 for Norris. Yeah, he's quick. He is quick. We'll see. Obviously, a one-stop works out much better if you get a safety car, but yeah, I'd be a little bit. I wonder what Plan C could be for Leclerc. Because the team wanted Plan B, that'll be a 1 or a 2 stop. So Plan C will be a 1 stop, but with a different. We can't put the softs on, can he? So no. Not sure. Verstappen now on the back of Leclerc, 6 tenths between them, so they're going to come through now. C for catastrophe, yeah, that's about right. Y for Y, C for catastrophe, D for dickheads. I'm allowed to say that, all right, I can say that. I'm in a Ferrari shirt. They'll forgive me, it's okay. They don't care. They don't care what anyone thinks. They're quite a funny team. Love them. Here goes Verstappen then. He's going to get a shot down to turn 1, isn't he, here? Unless he gets a poor exit. I mean, not a great exit from the final corner, so maybe not. Might have to wait another lap now, Verstappen, unless he goes for it in the hairpin. So, yeah, he's still behind him. 1.8 the gap at the front now. Norris just pegging that a little bit. It's only 3 tenths slower this time around, but it's still time he's losing. Alonso now in the back of Tsunoda. In fact, he's going to get a run at him now down to the chicane. Is he going to send it? Verstappen, he's closing. Tsunoda defends it nicely. And then, Alonso's going to have to get a good exit there if he wants to run down to turn 1. Slightly shorter, or considerably shorter zone, isn't it? So he's having a look, though. He's going to close in, and Alonso to the outside. Tsunoda covers the inside. Alonso squabbling with him. We're watching 2 fights here. Verstappen on Leclerc, and then in the picture-in-picture, Alonso versus Tsunoda. So I'm trying to watch 2 here. Yeah. He's got that corner quite nicely, Leclerc, that hairpin, which I think is helping him quite a bit against Verstappen. So Max may have to just send this. Leclerc told to box anyway, so he's going to be in now. There we go. Yeah, they are, Jamie. The bots are working overtime, mate, but at the same time, they're also giving you the wrong channel. which absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. Let's see. Yeah, so that's a 2-stopper then for Leclerc. It has to be. Okay, so that's... Alonso passes Tsunoda. So Leclerc is 2-stopping, so... He hasn't got any soft, so I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, Ferrari. I can't... Well, that's an evergreen statement, isn't it, really? But yeah, that is the hards for Leclerc. McLaren will surely respond to that. Surely Lando has to pit next. That's Fudd and Jamie. Yeah, probably. Well, his times are bad compared to... And yeah, Norris does pit, but they're not that bad, actually, his times. But he is in. So what... So sure, they can't once... Are they going to get 40 laps on the set of medium? No way. It must just be trying to have more tyre life at the end of the race. Is that what they're thinking of? Tyre delta rather than anything else. And it is the medium. So Norris... So here we go. Norris doesn't have to pit again. But he's not going to get 40 laps out of this. No way. But again, as Crofty's saying now, that it does make more sense to put the mediums on because now you've got options. If a safety car comes out for Leclerc now, it's absolutely screwed that strategy. Because he's used the hards up. So putting the mediums on, it gives you options, doesn't it? So that's interesting. So yeah. Sighted Kevin says, do you know, there's a movie coming out about F1. I know I knew nothing. And no, I won't stop moaning. I will continue to make that joke every single time I see it. Because why not? Why not? Baffling stuff by Ferrari. But then there was a strategy a few races ago where it was baffling. And then I think they ended up with a really good result in the end. So why have we boxed? Why did we box, says Leclerc. And they said, we're on plan B. Oh, no. For God's sake. We can all sing Fred Vasseur's praises for what he's done at Ferrari, but there are still serious operational errors at that team that he is not ironing out. Something needs to change, and you can't just keep chopping and changing your manager. There's a comparison here. You can chop and change your manager all you like, but it comes down to the point where if things aren't improving, something else needs to be sorted out, and there's something maybe wrong, something deeper in the team that's wrong, or the club that's wrong. So changing your manager every other season because they're not getting the results you want and not dealing with other problems tends to be a bit of a stupid way to go about it. You know, I thought Fred Vasseur was going to sort it, but he's still doing a lot of good stuff, Fred has. I will say that, but we're still getting these stupid falling outs between drivers and engineers. Falling outs a bit much, but disagreements over the radio and people not listening. But, just weird. We're on plan B. I want plan C. My tyres are fine. Pits them. Says they're on plan B. Doesn't make any sense. Be gentle entry turn 3 and turn 8. Gentle entry turn 3 and turn 8. To which Fernando Alonso responds, we're racing, we're not testing. There you go. Anyway, I'm not gonna sit here and try and work out what Ferrari are doing. I'm not entirely sure they'll know, so that's fine. We'll all work it out eventually. We'll see what happens at the end. It might work. We'll see. But Leclerc's not happy, and he's 2/10 slower on that lap than Lando Norris, which actually, on a fresh set of hards versus fresh mediums, that's not too bad actually from Leclerc, to be fair. So maybe driving a bit angry at the moment. What's Alex Albon doing? I mean, good lord. He's last. He's 1.2 behind Stroll. Lap times are all right. 16.4, so that's good news. So we have Gasly fighting with Lawson. I don't know. Ferrari things. I need to turn the poll off or end the poll. I always forget to do it in the race for some reason. I often doing quality as well. But yeah, thank you for your votes on the poll. 33% are going Verstappen for the win. 24 other. 22 Piastri. 19 Russell. So there we go. Well, can you blame him, Dan? To be fair. Yeah. They ask you what his tyres are like, and he says they're fine. They say plan B, he says plan C, so they bring him in and put him on plan B. Yeah, why ask? I guess is the point. James Vowles, who now apparently spends more time on the interviewed by Sky than Christian Horner used to. He's always there, isn't he? So James Vowles every week on Sky coverage. Check if there's anything interesting coming in from the group chat. I doubt it because it's quite no retirements or anything, is there? I think there's been some... a little bit of news from Alpine, actually, has come out. Luca Di Maio, Renault Group boss, has resigned. Alpine CEO. Interesting. There you go. That's some news for you. As Bearman has a twitch through 6 and 7 and gets it a bit wrong. Yeah. So Luca Di Maio has left. Interesting. If you're interested, there you go. Right, so what we got going on then? Let's get back to the racing now. Have a quick look at that one. I know you'll all need a minute to get over there being more drama and turmoil at Renault and Alpine, but you know, let me know when you're over it. It's not a surprise, is it? So I tell you what, Leclerc's pace is good on those hard tyres as Fernando Alonso breezes past Carlos Sainz. Verstappen 3.7 behind Russell. 3.2 clear of Antonelli. 2.1 clear of Piastri is Antonelli. So lap time is pretty even between Antonelli and Piastri at the minute. 15.426, 15.438. So there we go. Go away, bots. You swines. Russell's looking good here. Crashes immediately. You watch. Yuki yet to stop Pierre up in 11th place in his tyres. I mean, he's 30. Yuki Tsunoda definitely one stopping. But what have you got to lose? Go for it. See if it works. That's a good pace late on. Yeah, business as usual Alfie. That's about right. But yeah. Norris on the mediums, 15.1, Piastri 15.3. So I mean, Norris is, I mean, he'll be doing some time management there, I'm sure. But he's not getting those to the end. There's no way. No way. Flash forward 36 laps and he does. But I'd be amazed. Ferrari's pace has been good all weekend. It's their strategy that's whack, in my opinion, says Dan. Again, nothing new there, mate, is it? It's every week. Every week, it feels like. Lawson doing all right, says Kevin. Yeah, Liam Lawson 13th. Fending off Gasly at the moment. Hasn't pitted either, by the way. Quite a few haven't, actually. We'll do that in just a sec. We're just going to watch Nico Hulkenberg passing Colapinto, but Gasly yet to stop. Lawson, Bortoletto, Tsunoda and Sainz yet to stop, as is Esteban Ocon. So a few are one stopping here, and if you're one stopping, you definitely hang as long as you can for a safety car. As we're pretty much at the halfway point, please do drop a like on the stream, everyone. 360 of you here. Thank you so much for joining me this Sunday evening. Appreciate the company. So please do drop a like. Let's get out to 100. That'd be amazing. It's free. It doesn't do a lot for me financially, if anything, but it does certainly give the channel a boost in the algorithm, which helps indirectly, I suppose. Yeah, please do drop a like and get out to 100. That'd be amazing. And also subscribe if you are new too. Thank you to Vincent, who's on my list, and Gillian as well for subscribing. Appreciate your support. Not everyone appears on that list, unfortunately. So if you have subscribed, I apologise for not shouting your name out, but I will still say thank you anyway. Yeah, let's see if we can get a few more subs in and see how we get on. But yeah, always good to add some subs on a race weekend. I'm trying to work out what they're talking about. No Man's Land. Just going to check that one as well, actually. No. Okay, fair enough. That's not working. That doesn't matter. It's all good. Where is Annette? Says Kevin. I'm not sure what the time is in. Let's have a look. It's 4:49 in the morning where Annette is, so I imagine she's in bed. She's got more sense. She'll catch up later, I'm sure. But if you're watching the stream later and as a VOD, I hope you had a good day and got plenty of rest. And yes, we'll see you at the next one, hopefully. Pace is good considering the damage is what Lewis Hamilton's been told. So is the damage to his Ferrari? You'd assume so, given that they said damage. But yeah, decent pace. And I think somebody said a second ago, who was it? I'll give you a shout out. Hansi. Doesn't seem to be much difference between the hards and the mediums. Harders and the mediums. The hard tyre and the medium tyre. And you're right. I mean, 15.5 for Leclerc, 15.2 for Norris on that lap. It is 0.3 of a second, but it's not a huge delta, is it? So maybe the hard tyre actually working better with the current track temperature and all that business, and the track rubbering up a little bit as well. Maybe helping them, so becoming good as a race tyre. Because Leclerc wasn't happy on it, was he, earlier in the race? And now he's doing it well, so... we'll hear a loud scream coming from the upside down country if Piastri crashes. That's true. We will hear it if that happens. Antonelli is now right behind Max Verstappen, has been sort of pulling that gap down. 7/10 on the last lap, actually, Antonelli. So are we getting to the point now where Verstappen's going to be considering, as he pits, there you go, perfect timing, considering his second pit stop? He is indeed. In he comes. Where's he going to rejoin? He'll be in that gap, I imagine. Will he get out ahead of Leclerc? No, he won't. He will get out ahead of Hamilton, though. There we go. Decent stop, 2.2 seconds, very nice. Drops down to 6 in a little bit of clear air. And he's got Hamilton behind him for company, but he should be fine there. So there is, I think someone said earlier as well, that gap is there between Leclerc and Hamilton for people to exploit at the front. So let's see what he does. He has to push like crazy now, Verstappen. But I don't think Max, I don't think that Red Bull seems to have the pace today of particularly Russell's Mercedes and at times even Antonelli. But 32 laps on those hards, definitely possible, not ideal, says Fudge. Yeah, I think it was about 25 laps-ish, few more either side. We were talking about earlier, so I mean, lower fuel now, grippier track. Should be okay. But it will be tight towards the end. He's going to have to push, obviously, on his outlap, but he can also just look after him a little bit. And Russell hasn't responded. No need to, I suppose, so... Antonelli is, though. Antonelli in the pits. What was his lap time like, Antonelli? 23.8 in the middle. Verstappen at 24.1. I tell you what, this is going to be tight. Is it? Or am I getting excited? I'll look at the driver tracker. This is going to be tight. I think Antonelli has a shot. This is going to be very close. Antonelli versus Verstappen on pit exit here. I think Antonelli has just... Oh, it's Verstappen's back up the inside. He's just got the traction to get it through. Antonelli very nearly overcutting Max Verstappen there. That was tight in the end. I was just watching the sector times, and Verstappen wasn't really flying in that middle sector, and Antonelli very nearly pipped him. Yeah, 32 laps on the hards for both of them. But that was close, very close. Just remember, as the fuel loads come down, the track rubbers up as well. That does help with the tyre wear, so might be okay. Can we get to the end of the race? Can we get to the end without graining front left? Is what Piastri has been asked. So I'd be surprised. Norris saying tyres look good, but mediums to the end. I mean, probably theoretically, you know, from a structural point of view, they probably will get to the end, but is he going to have any pace when he gets there? That's the trouble, isn't it? They're good tyres. They don't blow up like they used to. Cue massive puncture and accident, but... Yes. Well, let's see. I mean, I agree, 32 does seem a bit of a distance to go, but might be okay. Might. Bearman on the back of Hadjar here. Hadjar not having a great afternoon at this stage, is he? I thought he had some good pace earlier in the weekend, but not quite had it in the race. I know losing those 3 places at the start with the grid drop and then having to get stuck in that DRS trip probably didn't help him at all, but Alonso's recovered okay, though. 8th place. I mean, once you get Norris coming through and Leclerc, you'd expect that, I suppose. So he's all right, Alonso. Down 2 places, which is what I was expecting at the start of the race anyway. So not too bad. Everyone has been very well behaved today, FUD. And I'm appalled. Absolutely appalled. But yeah. Antonelli very nearly had Verstappen there. That was a close one. Like I said, I was watching those sector times. And Antonelli was quick. Yeah. George will have to pit soon, within 2 to 3 laps at most. As Jamie, what's Alonso? Verstappen doing lap time wise? I mean, it's only 3/10, you know. Verstappen on the fresh tyres, 15.4, and Russell a 15.7. So he's not reeling that time in, is he, Max Verstappen, at this stage? So Russell might be able to go a little bit longer, which then gives him the tyre delta, which he may need a little bit later on to fend off Norris and Piastri. Piastri and Russell match each other. Norris a second quicker nearly than the leaders on that lap. So I feel like Russell's looking good, but I'm not quite sure how this is going to land just yet. Yeah. Russell is coming up to the traffic now, as they say in commentary. So might maybe one more lap and then bring him in just to avoid any time loss in there. Probably worth it. You said that, Jamie, actually, as well. They were saying on comms the traffic he's going to catch. I think if you're Mercedes, surely you pull him in his sack, because he's just come round 6 now, and they are all round 7, so they are right ahead of him. I think it makes sense because they're well off the pace. So I think they're gonna have to go for this, I think, and he would come out in 4th place. Russell, he's 16.7 clear of Leclerc, unless they're trying to build that gap, but they're not gonna. He's not quite quick enough, and he's got the traffic. So I don't know. 40 sets. That's a good point. Kevin says Ocon sight Tsunoda, Borset and Gasly have all done 40 laps on those tyres, so he could do it. As we've got a Haas going across the chicane there, and Russell does pit as we thought he might. But that's a good point. But then actually, not a lot of pace in them though, have they? I mean, it's not awful, but so Piastri takes the lead as Russell comes in. Was that a slightly slow sort of 3.3 for Russell? So he will fall behind Leclerc, but he should be ahead of Verstappen here quite comfortably, actually. He will be indeed, but he has going to have a bit of a battle he's going to have with Leclerc. So, I mean, if McLaren can run these to the end from here, I'm not sure they can, but if they can, then they're looking good. But Russell's going to be quick, as we saw last time he changed tyres, so I'm intrigued. As we lost a bit of time to Verstappen, Verstappen obviously is going to have closed that gap as he was circulating out there on those fresher tyres, but Russell is ahead of him 3.6 up the road and 3.2 behind Leclerc as we watch a Alpine trying to get past Hadjar. That is Gasly on Hadjar. Trying to work out the strategies. I mean, look, Ocon, Sainz, Tsunoda, Bortoletto, Gasly are all absolutely one stopping from here. No doubt about that. The McLarens might try it, but I'm not convinced Norris will get those to the end. We'll find out soon enough. And even if he does, I think Russell's going to be quicker. So that could be a squabble to keep an eye out. Verstappen doesn't need to pit again. Neither does Antonelli. So was it a slow stop for us? I thought it was 3.3. So a little bit slow, yeah. Left rear, I think. Yeah, just slightly. Yeah, theoretically Piastri could, because the harder tyre will go further, but it's already done 27 laps, and there's still 27 to go. That's quite a long way, isn't it? Quite a long way. 54 laps. Do we think that's possible? So to answer that, Jamie, so Piastri tyres are 27 laps old. Norris is a 14 already. So Yeah. Bearman having a go here at Gasly into the chicane, gets through and up into 16th place on a much fresher set of tyres than Gasly's, but still pretty old themselves. 25 laps on those to Gasly's 43. The car is getting harder to drive. There is degradation, but not really graining, is what Piastri say on the radio. He's doing a 15.7. Norris a 15.7. So the pace is there for both of them. Russell, let's see what he does in his first flying lap out of the pits. He's got Lawson ahead of him, though. So Russell is in a bit of traffic, which isn't really helping him. So that's a 15.2. He's half a second quicker despite traffic. Interesting enough there. Box for Piastri. There we go. Johnny says that this is the first time that I've listened to your channel. We only get the world feed in Spanish where we live at the moment. We are really enjoying your coverage and commentary. Good stuff. Thank you so much, Johnny. Appreciate that, mate. Appreciate your support. Glad you're enjoying it. I'll do the YouTuber nonsense to say as we watch Stroll stand with the inside of Gasly there. Please do drop a like on the stream and subscribe if you're new. We do these every weekend for qualifying the race, so you're very welcome as always. Everybody's welcome. It's nice just to hang out with some fellow F1 fans and chat about the action and talk nonsense. So I appreciate the support and the nice words as well. So thank you very much, Johnny and Co. I'll say Johnny and Co because you said where we are at the moment. So there we go. That's a Alpine across the chicane as Stroll gets past. That is Gasly. I mean, the tyres, 43 laps on those hards. I mean, come on. Just falling apart. Here comes Piastri then. Is Norris going to pit with him? No, we're talking about double stack there for some reason, so no, didn't happen. But in comes Piastri. Up on the jacks. It'll be the hard tyres to the end here for Piastri. Easy for him. I tell you what, he's got a few more laps there, hasn't he, than the other two, so that might help him out. Hamilton is slow. Alonso is catching him up, and Frank says it's like Hamilton isn't even trying. Hamilton may have damage. As Hamilton pits, by the way, they said on the well, he does have. They said on the radio, your pace is good despite the damage. So just bear that in mind with Hamilton. But Alonso is catching, but he has pitted now, Hamilton. So I wonder if those tyres have just fallen away. Where is Fernando? He should just about be ahead here. Lewis Hamilton. 2 seconds for his pit stop. Incident involving cars 18. That's Lance Stroll and Pierre Gasly. 10. Forcing another driver off the track. That was the chicane we just saw there between those. So I'm sure that'll get an investigation, or at least a replay, so we can actually make a decision whether it needs an investigation. Obviously, us knowing it all and the stewards knowing nothing. Here we go. This is the one at the hairpin. So Stroll just sent it right up the inside of the hairpin. It's actually a nice move, to be fair. It's nice and aggressive. Then Gasly comes back at him on the run to the chicane, goes to the outside. I mean, he does squeeze him onto the grass, doesn't he? There's a pinch there. There is definitely a pinch, and I don't think the track... No, the track doesn't narrow there, does it? So, no, that is a pinch from Stroll. That is naughty. You've got to leave a car's width, but... Yeah, not sure on that one. That was cheeky, but I'd be surprised if that gets any sort of penalty. They are investigating it, forcing the other driver off the track. They might feel as Yuki Tsunoda is battling here with Nico Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg trying to pass Tsunoda, funnily enough. I tell you what, Fudd, if you could write that in his accent all the time you have to leave the space, because I tell you what, that's one of those things. If you show a clip of that, or not even a clip, just a photo of that moment to an F1 fan, that's one of those photos you can hear. You can hear it. Equals Norris, so he wasn't one stopping. I didn't think he could. As in he comes now. So this will be... he did have a set of new mediums, but he's used those, hasn't he? So it will be the hards to the end from here. So there we go. And it is a set of new hards. They had 2 sets of those, so that makes sense. So Yuki needs to pit, absolutely, Kevin. But there we go. Norris has pitted and will rejoin in that lovely gap behind Piastri and ahead of Lewis Hamilton. So this is going to get interesting now, because you've got... Leclerc's still out there on plan, who knows and who even cares at this point with Ferrari. I don't think they know. Plan, now I know my ABCs, I suppose. Russell, 2.4 behind on a set of tyres that are 5 laps old. Antonelli's on a set of tyres that are 9 laps old. Verstappen's on a set of tyres that are 10 laps old, and the McLarens have got a nice new set of hards for both of them. So they're going to come back at them, but there's not a huge tyre delta between, say, Russell and Piastri, for example, 2 or 3 laps. So that's interesting. Lawson's been noted for ignoring blue flags. That's another one. You can start playing blue flags in your head. There is a version of that on Spotify, I think. Seb Vettel's song. Albon's pulled over. It's game over for Albon. Not a massive... He's been nursing something, hasn't he? Pretty much all race. So that is it for Alex Albon. He is out. There'll be yellow flags down there. There won't need to be any sort of safety car because he's pulled into the runoff area really nicely, actually, there. In fact, it's gone green pretty much straight away. So, or part of it has, sorry. But I don't think you need a yellow flag there, quite frankly. He's pulled himself into a really nice position. So there we go. Alex Albon is our first retirement. 2nd in a row, is it, that one now? 2 in a row for Albon. That's a shame. But, you know... Shame for him, but he's been struggling all race. Not happy on the radio. 10-second time penalty for Lance Stroll for forcing another driver off the track. I'll never replay that. I'm not... Yeah, I'm not... I guess the forcing of the driver track thing is a standard penalty, isn't it? So it is going to be 10 seconds, but that seems a lot. It's quite high speed there, to be fair, though, isn't it? It is the braking zone as well, so maybe they've been a bit harsher with it. But, yeah, I'm a little bit... I didn't think they'd do much about that, but they have done, so there we go. I'm sure everyone, because they all hate Lance Stroll on socials, so that's absolutely the right decision. But, yeah, it's a squeeze. But as Fernando Alonso would say, you can all say it yourself. I'm not going to offend Spanish people with a terrible accent because it'll just come out more Italian than anything I'd imagine. So Russell's 1.7 now behind Leclerc. What's Leclerc's pace like? 16.1. I mean, just to play... He's got a pit again, Leclerc. And there's only 21 laps left. I'm just listening to my brother. So 5 seconds behind Norris if he pitted now. So he's gonna have a very nice tyre delta potentially if he keeps going. But I'm not. I feel like that leaving him out and messing about with all of the plan Bs and plan Cs and plan Ys. I feel like they've kind of put themselves in a bit of no man's land here, unless they are just thinking tyre delta to the end of the race, push like crazy. Yeah, odd. It's what sometimes, you know, Ferrari strategy often is a mystery, as Lizzie says, and it's really strange, and I can't work it out. And sometimes I get to the end of the race and go, oh, that actually worked out really, really well. It's rare, but yeah. Yes, it was engine-related, Jamie. I think the Spain one was engine-related, wasn't it? It was a similar issue. So Norris is sort of 14.4, by the way, fastest up of the race. 14.5 for Piastri, 15.2 for Russell, but there is a nice gap for Russell there as well. So, yeah, possible. So that's a good point as well, Liz, if we get a safety car. Yeah. Extreme saying the same as Extreme Gaming, so maybe that's what they're thinking. Russell pulling over there, yeah, just game over for George Albon. One day I'll get his name right for Alex Albon, George Albon, Chris Albon, Steve Albon. Alonso pits. Hadjar and Bearman times deleted there, so yeah, Alonso gonna drop down now while he makes his pit stop. Piastri team radio. Leclerc's pace is dropping off. This is a straight fight between you, Verstappen, and Antonelli. So they think Russell is gone then. You know, George Russell's been good today. Gotta say, I think Antonelli's doing a cracking job as well. His pace is solid. He's still right behind Max Verstappen, 1.7 seconds behind. We've seen at the end of each stint he's come back at him. So Antonelli's doing a good job here, but Piastri is now right behind him. So that could be about to change. But yeah, good stuff. Feels like Bearman and Hadjar is heating up. Incident noted also both going off track at the same time. Yeah, I'm hoping for some bumping of wheels and stuff. So Leclerc's been told to lift and coast by the team as well. because of brake temperature or fuel, potentially. Here we go. It's team radio. What are we waiting for to stop? Question mark. We don't want to do too many laps on the medium, says Ferrari. I don't get it. The medium for me is a good tyre, says Charles. Ferrari say, shut up and go back to bed. And Leclerc says, stick it up your bum. I'm not interested in what you've got to say. And then they have a big spat, and that's the end of that. None of that last bit happened, obviously. But yeah, no. It's all very tetchy, isn't it, between the drivers and the engineers at Ferrari? I was going to say these days, but in recent years. According to Autosport, Lewis Hamilton's damage early on in this race was caused by a groundhog, says Warner's End. So which joke I want to make? No, was it a marmot or was it a groundhog? That's going to be the one we'll go with there. Stroll's just had a 13.3 second stop of his 10-second time penalty, of course. So that's a long stop, but he has served his penalty, just so you know. I'm just going to pause for a second while I just get a quick drink. I'll be back with you in, I think it did 20 seconds yesterday, so I'll say 15 today. Let's see if I can do it, and I'll be back with you in just a second, and then we can finish this race off together. I don't know how I was. It might have been okay, but there you go. Yes, Jamie says F in chat for the groundhog. There you go. Yeah. Well, that'll be where the damage has come from then. So, Leclerc pits because, sure, they don't want to do too many laps on the mediums. So they brought him in a lap after saying that. And obviously that's why they're doing it. So, here comes Piastri on Antonelli on the run to turn 1, but he's not going to get there. He's not close enough. He's got the DRS wide open. 17-second pit stop, says Lizzie. So there we go. I've got rid of the bot. Don't worry, Gustav. I'm trying to keep on top of them. Leclerc does a 2.1 second stop. It's a good stop, or his team do. Norris is pushing hard. Piastri pushing hard. This is going to be a good fight. So, I mean, look. Piastri, 17 laps to go, is only 4.5 seconds off the lead and is, 6 tenths quicker on that lap than Russell? So I don't think this is completely over. I don't think George Russell can relax just yet. He's got some traffic as well. Let's see. We'll wait for this next lot of lap times to come in, because this is going to be because George has got a bit of traffic. Piastri's now got the dirty air from Antonelli. Let's see. So Gasly finally pits. 52 laps on those tyres. Some of these must have been safety car hanging, because all that time Gasly's lost, he's now only got 16 laps on a fresh set of mediums to make that up. I'm not sure that's worked, but I guess when you're starting to pit lane, you've got to try something, haven't you? So he's ultimately, after all of that, 2.5 seconds clear of the guy that he started in the pit lane with, who pitted 15 laps ago. So, not sure that's worked, but, well, I say not sure it's worked. He's 17th, so, you know, he is 2 places up, so I suppose 3 places, I suppose it has, sort of, but this will be an F1 special where the top 5 cars concertina up to grandstand finish in exactly the same order they arrive in, says Foot. Can't pass each other, yeah. Probably. But Russell did a 14.8, Piastri a 14.9. So Russell still has pace, but Verstappen did a 14.8 as well. Antonelli a 14.8. So the times are close. The only one moving quicker is Norris on a 14.3. So he's comfortably quicker than those ahead of him at the moment. So we are going to get a top 5 together. And what's Leclerc going to do on his first clean lap out of the pits? That'll be interesting to see. Piastri has a look at the inside of him and say that looked more dramatic from a distance than it actually was. But no, not going to get through there. He needs to get through. Piastri will be desperate to get through. Box to retire the car, Liam Lawson is told. So we're going to get out to 18 runners today. 15 laps to go. This is all... Lawson does pit to retire the car. This is all just coming to a head now, isn't it? No further investigation for Bearman and Hadjar, by the way. 14.8, 14.7. They're your lead times. Antonelli's going to come through. He's on a 14.7. Piastri 14.4. 14.2 for Norris on the last lap. They're going to come through and complete these laps now, and that's going to change again, but I thought I'd give them a read anyway. Ocon, yeah, Ocon still hasn't pitted, and he's still sat in 8th place, as you say, and his lap times are not amazing, but they're not that much slower than some of the cars behind him, frankly. So I know some others haven't pitted as well, but any safety car now for a one-stopper, and you're looking good. But I don't think we're going to see a safety car. Everyone seems to be pretty well behaved today. That's Piastri getting past Hadjar to lap him. Has Stroll been told to retire the car? Don't think so. Might do. I mean, may as well. Down in 18th place, but might want to finish home Grand Prix. Verstappen's catching Russell. That was 4/10 on that. Like, Russell's got Colapinto, but I mean, Verstappen's got to clear the traffic as well. So this isn't over by a long way. This is not over at all. We have to take care of the PU, is what Lawson's been told. So obviously some issues there. Random story. As Sainz drops down to 10th place and Hulkenberg moves into 9th. I always sort of smirk at the PU thing, because when I worked in care, the abbreviation for passing urine was PU. So I always sort of like, if it falls in the right sentence, it makes me laugh like a 12-year-old. I find it hilarious. You can file that under things you didn't need to know, by the way. But there you go. Verstappen now 1.1 behind George Russell. I didn't check the tyres. I was watching whoever was pitting now, which is Tsunoda, on pit out now. 1.1 seconds the gap is down to. So Antonelli now 1.9 behind. It's a 14.5. So here we go. Russell 15.1, 14.5 for Verstappen, 14.5 Antonelli, 14.3 Piastri, 14.3 Norris. Maybe I'm being a bit dramatic here, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility. Russell might end up 5th by the end of this if it carries on like this, but there is traffic. Let's see what he does in clear air. Does a personal best first sector, so might be okay, George. 20.7. But yeah, this is, I think traffic has cost Russell there. Let me know what you think in chat. Hamilton's completely in no man's land, isn't he? As finally Esteban Ocon, his tyres were screaming. Ocon does pit. I think Hulkenberg here is looking good for some points. Escape road instructions. Bearman's been noted for failing to follow the race directed instructions on that one, so keep an eye on that. Possibly a post-race investigation. We are getting towards the end now, so we'll see what they decide on that. But there we go. So Ocon and Sainz have pitted. Finally got rid of those tyres. They're going to be quick, by the way, these two. Has that worked for Ocon? I think Ocon's 10th. I think that's worked for... It has worked for Ocon. We were sort of laughing at the strategy for how long he was on those tyres. It has worked a treat. He's P10. Is Esteban Ocon. Well done, Haas. Nasty traffic here for Piastri. Getting past Ocon. And it's difficult, isn't it? Ocon, he's going to have to let him go, but he's also got his own race to run. And Ocon's going to be rapid on those tyres. So... But he is a lap down. He's got to let him go and does let Norris go in the end. The gap's back up to 1.8 at the front. Russell did respond 14.5, so it must have been traffic there for George. But yeah, I think, who was it that said it? Hansi was saying Hamilton alone on track, completely alone. 21 seconds behind his teammate. And 23 seconds clear of Hulkenberg. Stop and have a cup of tea if he wants. Yes, Norris now 7/10 behind Piastri. Martin Brundle saying, interesting conversation going to have to be had at McLaren. I mean, what do you do? Constructors' Championship pays out the money, but can you really interfere in this with it being a Drivers' Championship fight? Intriguing. Driver of the day 2025. 3 for Verstappen, 1 for Norris, and 1 for Antonelli. Was that the one for Antonelli that everyone went, what? Why? Track slippery and track sector 10 is now clear. That could be animals running on track or whatever. So this is I mean, if these two start squabbling, it might be the saviour for Russell, Verstappen, and Antonelli. But Piastri has. I mean, the traffic was really harsh for Piastri, I feel. It swings and roundabouts, isn't it, with stuff like that? But it really did catch him out there. So his pace is, what was his pace? So 15.1 on that lap from Piastri. We'll see what he does this time around. Personal best first sector, quicker than Norris. So he is quick, and Norris having a little look at Piastri, just coming off the racing line to have a little cheeky look. But yeah, this is for a title. Don't forget, potentially. It's not just about this fight for the win today. I mean, Russell and Verstappen taking some good points out of these two actually today. So, not talking about Russell as a champion or Verstappen winning it. It's, unless these two start colliding, it's probably going to be between these two. But yeah, McLaren have to let them race, I'm afraid. Norris on the radio going to motor say, if there was a safety car, we would have a free stop. Would you take it for a soft? He said, yep. So they take a soft tyre for a safety car. I imagine everyone would pretty much do that. Well, you'd stay out if you're an Antonelli, wouldn't you? Go for it, I suppose. But Jamie says multi-21. Multi-81-4. That's a bit more of a giveaway, isn't it? Multi-814. Here we go, then. The top three have got a bit of a gap here. Norris has got DRS, but he's not in the slipstream because Piastri just pulled out of the... yeah, maybe ahead of him slightly. It's all about pressure now. Who can handle this one? Journalists all over the world with a 2-week gap to the next race are praying this all kicks off. Think of the clicks, people. Think of the clicks. They are actually catching Antonelli a little bit now by a couple of tenths on that lap, but it is very close. I think if... well, no, it's just the battle, isn't it? I was gonna say, if he drops him from DRS, maybe Piastri have a bit more speed, but on that lap it was only a tenth between them, so maybe not, but... Frank says it looks like Russell has this. I said that a few laps ago, Frank, and then everyone started closing in. I was like, oh no, I've jinxed this day. Looking back from Piastri's rear wing at Norris, who gets a bit of a twitch on the exit of turn 8 there. Big slide. And this is all about the hairpin, the exit from the hairpin. He's so close. Norris on the radio. It's about Oscar not having DRS there. So here we go. Norris has got DRS. Charging down the straight, closing in. Does he send it? He has a little look, but just trying to scare him off the road. They're closing in on Antonelli. The trouble here for Norris is actually Piastri's about to catch Antonelli in DRS. So is that what they were saying? Was that what they were saying on the radio? Don't, make sure you get him before he gets DRS. Ocon's, 2 Mercedes on the podium, says Frank. Thinking it'd be a surprise. I wasn't expecting that today at all. Even with Russell on pole, I wasn't expecting him to do this. But Piastri needs to get there now. He's 1.1 behind Antonelli, and the DRS detection point is here. So yeah, not close enough this time. But he's only 1.1 behind, but he will get a nice toe. That will help him. It's been clean and tidy between us so far. Incident involving Bearman will be investigated after the race, failing to follow race direct instructions, escape road instructions. So, there you go. So Piastri is now within DRS of Antonelli, but not going to get it this time around. He'll have to stay there and needs to be there on the exit of turn 6 and the exit of turn 9. 10 points between them in the championship at the moment. Is now going to increase to 12 points. So it is only a 2-point swing, but every point is going to be massively important this year if things carry on the way they are, especially if that Red Bull of Verstappen comes good and suddenly Mercedes can find pace like this. It can throw a spanner in the works. So here we go. Jamie says, what we're about to see should not be televised for children. Yeah, but to be fair, everyone was telling me that Verstappen and Russell were going to collide into turn one. They were nowhere near each other. Russell dealt with that straight away with a good start, didn't he? So we'll see. But look, I would be amazed if at some point, it doesn't necessarily have to crash Senna Prost style, but there's going to be a banging of wheels or a running somebody wide or that kind of thing that sets an argument off between these two at some point. But Piastri does have DRS on Antonelli. He's a second behind, but he was there at the DRS zone, so that's going to help Piastri a little bit here. So that's interesting. So now what happens is, so what Verstappen and Russell need is for these three to now start squabbling. I don't know how I feel now. I kind of would really love to see Antonelli on the podium today. Now he's driven really well today, but I can't help but feel. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can't help but feel this has an air of inevitability about it. That he's going to end up maybe even the meeting a McLaren sandwich 3 abreast down the back straight. Sean's dreaming now. Wait a second. Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, I'd go for that. Why not? Currently, Antonelli is driver of the day, according to the vote split. Russell only third. I think if you haven't voted yet, I'm not going to influence votes. Why would I? But I'd encourage some more votes for Russell because I think he's been excellent today as well. He's done a very good job. Yes, there is something on the side of the track, isn't it, that looks like it's not moving, as was mentioned earlier. So I think we've lost Gary. Gary number 4. Oh, Gary. It happens. With Ocon's been lapped, by the way. It was 10th place. But I think, again, Ocon, I can't believe he's 10th. Great effort on those tyres. Here we go. How calm is Piastri? Oh, how calm is Piastri going to be? What a stupid question. Completely. But Norris is closer here. Coming out of the final chicane. He's using a bit of his batch up. Is he going to send it? He's not. He didn't have his wing open, Norris. Did he? I mean, he had it open down the straight, but I think he closed it before Piastri. So maybe Piastri just a bit later on the brakes there. But this is going to be a battle and a half. Look at that lovely drone shot as well. Can't take my eyes off this one. I'm not even looking at the times anymore. I think Russell and Verstappen looking okay here. I think. Probably in that order unless something goes wrong with their cars. Because this is now the squabble. It's not as easy to overtake here as it used to be. Where is? But you can pass here. So Piastri clunking the curb on the inside of 8 there. But he's done that a couple of times now. Maybe that's his line. So Norris, oh, he's gone through the hairpin. He's got up the inside of Piastri. And Lando Norris slips through, but Piastri will come back at him side by side out the corner. A little bit of a squeeze there on the grass as well. They're both going to get DRS. It's a drag race down that long back straight. And I think Piastri's got a bit of a toe on Antonelli as well. And now Norris has got the toe. They are almost banging wheels. Piastri is not giving an inch. And he just about stays ahead. But now Norris is going to come back at him. The McLarens are squabbling. That is all very good racing. Norris has hit the back of him like an idiot. What is he doing? That is Hamilton Button 2011. Why did he try and squeeze through there? What was he doing? That if you know what I'm talking about, Hamilton and Button in 2011. That'll be a safety car. I don't understand. It is a safety car, but I don't understand what we've just seen. Well, I do understand it, but why is that? Has Piastri got damage? Why was Lando trying to pass there? Piastri came across, which he's perfectly allowed to do. I'm sure people complain. Safety car through the pit lane. So he's come across, which he's allowed to do, because Norris isn't anywhere near alongside him. And then he sort of decides to continue towards the wall to go through, catches the back of him and hit. I mean, I can't. If Piastri gets any sort of penalty for that, I'll be furious. And I may not be back in 2 weeks because he's done call wrong there. But that's an exaggeration. I will be back in 2 weeks because I'll need to see what happens next. It's like a box set. We've got to keep watching. But I'm going to watch the replay. So Norris sent in the hairpin. Good move, by the way. But then Piastri comes back. They're so close to banging wheels. Little squeeze there, but all fine. They're side by side. Then both DRS wide open because they both got the DRS. Still side by side. Kind of trading like you see in a game, a little bit ahead, a little bit behind. Then Piastri just stays lovely and late on the brakes, deep into the corner. That sets Norris up with a really nice exit. Good traction too. And then he comes across and he hits the back of Piastri. As Crofty said, he went for a gap that wasn't there. That's not going for a gap that exists. That's going for a gap that doesn't exist and losing... What on earth? No, that's fine. That's nothing there from Piastri at all. Why is Norris... That makes... He's going to blame Piastri, I'm sure. It's my... Oh, my bad or my fault. Unlucky. Sorry, stupid from me. To be fair to Lando Norris, no. Credit where it's due. Full responsibility immediately. Usually they get on the radio and go, what was he doing? But he didn't, did he? He was quite clear that was my fault. Oh, dear Lando. I'm going to give Norris credit for taking full responsibility, but also what else can he do? Piastri's done nothing there at all. In fact, you know what? I'm not even sure Piastri even moves at that point to come across any further other than following the racing line. Oh, Lando, what have you done? That is a photo and a replay you are going to see time and time again. Lando Norris. Oh, I mean, he's taking responsibility, but... Oh, and then we've had a pit stop. Sorry, pit stops as well. Norris skips up on the pit wall, but we did get some pit stops there. I'll recap all that in a moment. Piastri came in, I think changed tyres just in case it's a puncture or anything. And then sort of got caught up in traffic as they were coming out the pits. But Piastri was only ever going to end up fourth anyway there, so it made sense to change his... Did he change his tyres? No, they didn't. I don't know. Did they change his tyres? Just confirm that for me, chat. I thought that's what we're watching now, was him having his tyres changed. I'll just do a quick rewind on the old Skybox. But I'm looking at the graphic, and it's not updating is the problem, I think. So, yeah, they do... That is Piastri in, because they're coming through the pit lane anyway. And they've put a set of soft tyres on. Then it was an unsafe release on the... potentially. He did stay out of the way, actually, to be fair. So, yeah, they did change tyres, but it's not updated. There we go. It's now updated on the thing. Sorry, I was getting confused there, but... Oh, dear. It was always going to happen, wasn't it? It was always going to happen. Very similar to the Button-Hamilton thing from 2011. Obviously not completely similar because that was in the wet and different conditions. What's Verstappen doing here? Verstappen passes Russell under safety car, then backs off, says that George suddenly just aggressively braked. They usually let that go, don't they, stewards? If you end up ahead of a driver by accident, then you give it straight back like that when you're sort of weaving and brakes and tyres and stuff. So I shouldn't imagine there'll be a penalty there, but I think we are getting a safety car finish, yeah. I think. And Russell says he just overtook me under the safety car because, you know, why not? They're good mates, aren't they, really? I mean, they could... No, they can't bring it in, no. That is it. It's safety car finish, I think, peeps. Yeah. Well. I don't know what to say, really. I don't know what to say. I mean... It's quite funny, really, actually, in a way. And not the situation, but the fact that because Norris has come out and said, that was all my fault, silly me, basically. Sorry about that. That's a controversy gone, isn't it? There's not really much to debate. Was it Lando's fault? Yes, it was. Is he right in saying it was his fault? Yes, he is. Right then. Austria. That's it. That's, we kind of, you know, from a debating point of view, we kind of needed to go, oh, I can't believe Oscar just did that. But he was never going to do that, was he? So... big for the championship. Remember what I said right at the start of the stream, by the way. I said right at the start of the stream, if Norris, for whatever reason, doesn't score points today, with Russell, Verstappen and Piastri scoring heavily, this is going to put him in a very, very tricky position in the championship at this stage. So as it stands, Piastri would have 198 points, Norris 176. Verstappen will be up to 155, Russell on 136. So they're starting now to snap at Norris's heels when he needs to be looking ahead at his teammate. But it's going to be a 22-point lead for Oscar Piastri after this race if it stays like this. And Jean Alesi, by the way, is going to wave the checker flag, was winning the Canadian Grand Prix in 1995. His only career race win, which when you think about how good Jean Alesi was, particularly when he was younger, is somewhat baffling. But I need to check that now. We've got a couple of minutes before we get to the checker flag anyway, or a minute. So, but yeah, I think he only won one race in his career, and it was Canada 95. I might be wrong. Yeah, one win. Cracking driver, by the way, Jean Alesi. Cracking driver. Quite underrated in a lot of ways, I think. But there's not really much of a fanfare across the line because now we wait for the safety car to bring them round. Lewis Hamilton, by the way, no longer in a race on his own. He's on the back of Leclerc now, so that's some positive news for him. There you go. You cannot make this stuff up. I won't say anymore. Oh, no, definitely say more, Red Raven. But safety car pulls in the pits then so that we can have the photos over the line. George Russell comes through to win the Canadian Grand Prix in 2025. Max Verstappen P2. Kimi Antonelli, youngest ever podium standing bloke in F1 history, in third place. A double podium for Mercedes. Well done to those guys. Piastri in fourth. Massive day for the championship. Charles Leclerc fifth on plan Y. Lewis Hamilton sixth. A race of no man's land for him. Seventh for Alonso, eighth for Hulkenberg, ninth for Ocon in the end because of that incident for Norris, or crash for Norris, 10th for Sainz, Ollie Bearman 11th place, Tsunoda 12th, Colapinto 13th, Bortoletto 14th, Gasly 15th, Hadjar 16th, Stroll 17th, and if you're just tuning in, Lando Norris is out after hitting the back of his teammate, Lawson out with a mechanical problem, retiring the car, and Albon also out with a mechanical problem. Game over. There you go. A win for George Russell. Fourth different winner this year. Yeah. Fourth winner. What a great bounce back for Antonelli as well. And a really good drive. He got driver of the day too, if you're interested. But really good effort. That's a good question. Is Antonelli even old enough to drink the champagne they're serving? Kevin, what's the age of drinkage in Canada? The words fail me. How old you got to be to legally drink? There we go. Alcohol, I mean. You can drink water from any age, I'm sure. But Jamie thinks it's 18. More points finishes for Hulkenberg, please. He deserves it. Paula Pascal's very happy. 4 more points for Sauber. I'm so happy for Nico coming back to us. 20 points already this season. I will go through the order in full shortly, and then we'll have a look at the championship as well. Now it's all settled down, and we'll answer a few questions and have a chat about what we've all just seen. But yeah, what a moment that was in the race, and what a moment that was in the championship. Russell might be quite relieved, and Verstappen, they looked like they had it under control, didn't they? But there was a moment where Piastri and Norris were quick and they were coming back at people. I think those laps behind Antonelli in the end, massively costly there, and that maybe saved Russell and Verstappen. But Piastri and Norris had the speed to take the fight to those ahead for sure. And then all hell broke loose between the McLarens. And by between the McLarens, I mean they battled hard but fair. And then Lando Norris made a really weird decision on the straight and went straight into the back of Oscar Piastri, crashed out, and game over for him. So, and I want to see it again, but it looked like it may have only been a little tap as well. But enough to lose your front wing. So yeah, what a shame. But congratulations to Kimi Antonelli, of course, for the podium. Killjoy says that French province are probably 12. Kevin says that drinking age in Quebec is 18. Apparently it might be 19, says Kieran, so that's weird. 21 is definitely the US. I know that one, yeah. It's different for each province, apparently, according to Kevin. So interesting. So he should be okay then. In the UK, legally, it's 18. But if you've not had a drink or two before you're a teenager in the UK, I'd be very surprised. Parenting. My nephew, get my sister in trouble now. My nephew had a glass of wine, a glass of fizzy wine at Christmas. He's 7, so you know it happens. Everyone has wine at Christmas. Come on, let's have. But you know, maybe the second was a bit much. But anyway, Oh, yeah, most important part of Slice of Canvas, there is a movie coming out with Brad Pitt. Is it next week? Don't care. It's 18 in Quebec and 19 in the rest of Canada. So it's Montreal's Quebec, isn't it? Yeah. Do you know what, Rysart? I was thinking about what the rule was and the law. Rysart's just saying in chat you could drink illegally at home in the UK from the age of 5. I know with parental consent you can drink at home, but I wasn't sure what the ages were and what the actual laws were around it. But yeah. I thought Montreal was. I wanted to double check, Kevin. I didn't want to say something to fake. I've already talked through the national anthem. I didn't want to make you cry even more and really hate me. Please, if you are disappearing, by the way, we'll be live for another 20 minutes, half an hour yet, having a bit of a gossip and whatever. In fact, last week I think I said that, and we're live for another hour, so we'll see how we go. Lots to digest after that one. But if you are disappearing, thank you for your support today. Great to have you with us. Please do drop a like before you go. We're 8 away from 100, so let's get that to 100. And please do subscribe if you're new as well. Short tomorrow, there'll be video Tuesday. There'll be stuff out through next week, and then of course we'll be gearing up for Austria and Silverstone double header, so your support is massively appreciated, so thank you very much as always. But if you are staying, get your questions ready, because I want to answer a few today, because that's that drama at the end has set me off. I suspect I'm going to get a message off Sam going, we need to clip up your reaction to Norris there, but yeah, we'll see how we go. So in Germany it's 9 months, says Craig. It's birth basically. Antonelli there with George Russell. I imagine they're going to well, big points for Mercedes. We'll get onto that in just a second as well when we do the championship. But I'll tell you what then, while you're getting your questions ready, I'm just going to get a quick drink, and then I will run through the order for the timestamp. We'll then look at the championship. I'll take a breather, answer some questions, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, just give me 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Oh, there we go. Right. George Russell has won the 2025 Canadian Grand Prix from Max Verstappen, a race that finished under a safety car after Lando Norris hit the back of Oscar Piastri and retired. We'll talk about that in a bit more. Kimi Antonelli becomes the youngest ever driver to stand on an F1 podium. He is third in a Mercedes. Great drive from him and George and Max, to be fair, today as well. Oscar Piastri in fourth. Will be disappointed because there was the pace there to threaten Antonelli, but couldn't get through. And then, of course, the incident happened with his teammate, and then the safety car came out, so that was that. But it is big points in the championship battle for him, so that's good news. Charles Leclerc ended up 5th in the end after all the falling out and squabbling on the team radio. Slight exaggeration, but he wasn't happy there at all. Lewis Hamilton 6th and Fernando Alonso somehow in 7th, despite his ups and downs today on the timing tower. 8th place for Nico Hulkenberg. Back-to-back points for Sauber. Pascal, let me know, when was the last time they did back-to-back points at Sauber? Well, they've just done it again, so well done to them. Esteban Ocon did 3.5 years in his first stint and still managed to end up P9 today. Great drive from him as well. Some very good time management. Carlos Sainz picked up a point despite everything that's been going on for him this weekend, so good recovery there, up 6 places. He'll be happy with that one, I'm sure. Ollie Bearman in 11th place, just 1.8 off a point as it stands. Yuki Tsunoda in 12th with Franco Colapinto 13th. Maybe a slightly disappointing end to what was a promising weekend to that point, but maybe that's where Alpine have been anyway this weekend. So still, I think, a decent weekend overall for Franco. Bortoletto 14th, Pierre Gasly up 5 places to 15th, having started from the pit lane. Isaac Hadjar, not a great weekend in the end, was it? Down in 16th place, and Lance Stroll with his penalty, which I actually think was a little bit harsh. I can see where the stewards are coming from, but they've gone with it. But 17th place in the end for him. Lando Norris retired after crashing into the back of Oscar Piastri. All his own fault. I think we all agree on that in chat. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this later. But actually, he took full responsibility anyway. So whatever we think, it's kind of irrelevant. But watching it live, I call it as his fault. So there we go. Lawson, 19th place. He retired with DNF. He retired with a mechanical problem. He pitted to retire. And Alex Albon stopped at the hairpin, actually, in the runoff area behind the barrier after he had a problem that he'd been nursing pretty much all race. Also, by the way, Hamilton allegedly hit a marmot, a groundhog, a beaver, a massive squirrel, and that did some damage to his car, so that's why his pace wasn't great today, but it is still double points for Ferrari. In the Drivers' Championship, Oscar Piastri now sits 22 points clear Yes, of Lando Norris in second place. Big swing that. Almost a race win in his pocket. So Norris is going to need some big races coming up. Max Verstappen in third, 155 points, closing that gap a little bit on Norris today. Or substantially, actually. 18 points is a big swing as well. And George Russell's 25 brings him back into play. It's still realistically between Piastri and Norris, if there is even going to be a fight, because if today carries on as it has, then Piastri might cruise this, but we'll see. But I think Verstappen is an outsider and Russell is a dark horse, let's say. It'd take a lot for Russell to win it, but he's keeping himself in there if things do kick off at the front, so that's what you got to do, or what you got to do. Charles Leclerc in 5th place on 104 points. Hamilton in 6th on 79. Antonelli on 63 points now in 7th place. And Albon still in 8th, by the way, on 42, despite a really rubbish couple of weekends. Esteban Ocon moves up to 9th on 22 points. Hadjar drops to 10th on 21 points. Hulkenberg now has 20 points. Stroll 14. Sainz moves up 1 place into 13. Sorry, it doesn't at all. He gains 1 point and moves on to 13 points. Stays 13. Gasly 14th on 11 points. 10 points for Tsunoda. 8 points for Alonso, 6 for Bearman, 4 for Lawson, and just Bortoleto and Colapinto yet to score. Doohan as well, of course, will not have scored, but he's not on this list there. So McLaren top of the constructors still, even with the 40 points for Mercedes, now in second. I don't think they're going to catch them. So McLaren still looking good there. Mercedes, like I say, 199 points in second. Ferrari in third on 183. Red Bull fourth on 162. Starting to fall away a little bit, Red Bull there, aren't they? And I say that, I mean, they are exactly the same distance for Ferrari as they were at the start of the race, but looking at it there, maybe fourth is what they'll be getting this weekend or this season for Red Bull, but think of the wind tunnel time. Williams still 5th on 55. Haas 6th on 28. 28 for Racing Bulls as well. Aston Martin on 22. They move up to 8th. But Sauber on 20 points. That's going to be a fun fight. Alpine still rock bottom on 11 points. But actually quite a lot of points, to be fair, for all the teams. So good to see. Ocon and Sainz will be investigated after the race for driving erratically. And Ollie Bearman, of course, is also under investigation for rejoining somewhere. We're not sure what it is. I think Fudge just said there off camera, so we're not sure what happened, but he is going to investigate after session. So Bearman may drop. We'll see what happens with Ocon and Sainz. But that's the order as we sit here. So any questions? Yeah, that's all my waffle out the way from the stuff there. Thank you for the likes, by the way. We did get to 100, so I appreciate that. So I'm going to open the chat up in full. So if you've got any questions, sling them my way. Ideally about the race we've just watched, but you know I'll answer just about anything within reason. So as George Russell signs the bottle of champagne, which he's going to send to me. Happy Father's Day, Papa. And then he signs it like he's a celebrity, signs it for his dad. That's kind of sweet. I like that. But yes. Wow. Papa. Yeah. There you go. George just won it. Good stuff. Impressed. Anything noted for Russell and Verstappen behind a safety car, says Jack. Hey, Jack, been a while, mate. Hope you well. No, I don't think so. That's the sort of thing we see all the time. Drivers braking and then the others are accelerating, and there'll be nothing in that. They might look at it just for the sake of looking at it, but if there's any penalty for that, then game's gone, you know. Anthony's been great today. Really impressed with him. So, do you think Lando could drop to 3rd this year? I mean, the easy answer is if he keeps doing that, yes. I don't think so. I think realistically, this is a championship fight between Piastri and Norris. Despite what's happened today, I still think those are the two that are going to battle this out, or at least be the closest come the end of the season. If Norris keeps doing stuff like that and keeps making the mistakes he's making, and frankly, keeps beating himself up about everything the way that he does, he's not going to challenge it. It's going to be Piastri that ends up winning it quite easily. But I don't see Verstappen, despite how good he is, and we know how good he is, you don't have to like him, but it's the reality. He's such a bloody good driver. He can pull any result out of that if he needs to, but that car is not consistent enough at the moment to challenge. So I think it will be between the two McLarens. But when I was running through the table, the point I was making really, if Russell can keep picking up consistent points, which he's doing, and then pulls the odd result out like this, and he's there to pick up the pieces when the McLarens collide or anything like that, and Verstappen does the same, who knows where we might be when we come to sort of 3, 4, 5 races to go. As long as they're in contention, anything can happen. But I think, as I said earlier, Piastri, versus Norris at best for the title. Verstappen, the underdog. Russell, the dark horse. But I'm saying that with full expectation that Russell is not going to win the championship. But things like this can happen, and they can swing. So that's my answer to that one. But I'd be surprised if Norris drops to third in the drivers. But then again, if he keeps doing that, he's going to, isn't he? So something is still telling me that Max will catch them, though. The thing is with Verstappen, having said all that, is like I say, he is that good that if anybody's going to stop a McLaren winning the drivers, it will be Max Verstappen. And now that we've had that incident, even though it's fully Norris's fault, Piastri did nothing wrong, it still now means that Norris has got to be even more elbows out because he's got a big gap to close. So now he's going to have to take more risks, which means he's more likely to have coming together with his teammate, or he's more likely to crash out, or Piastri in defence might end up crashing out. So that if Verstappen keeps plugging away at those points, it's about, I think it's a season of consistency. We've seen it in junior formula quite a lot, haven't we? Where they, maybe win 1 or 2 races a season, but as long as they're consistently plugging the points away at the points, when everybody else gets it wrong and mistakes happen and things go wrong, that's when they can pick up the pieces and nick the title. That is Verstappen's best shot, unless Red Bull can get this car sorted for him and in a window where it is consistently the best out there again, or good enough to win every single race. The trouble is, with the switch to 2026 coming up, is that really going to happen? But I agree with the point that you're making in the live chat. Verstappen has just got this ability to pull out results, and if anyone's going to stop them, it'll be him. But at the minute, and you maybe would say this was the case anyway, but I think right now, 10 races down, with the swing we've had today, Piastri, solidly title favourite right now. 4 races to go till the summer break. 2 in a row, Austria and Silverstone, then for some reason, because F1 are weird, 3 weeks before we go to Belgium and then Hungary, then another summer break. So let's see where we're at the summer break. But like I say, Piastri at the moment, I don't think it's controversial to say the title favourite. 22 points clear at the moment and scoring very well every race. No McLaren on the podium today, by the way, which is odd. Doesn't feel right, does it? So let's see. Saya says, I cannot wait for Zach Brown to say Piastri didn't give Norris room. I mean, look, if he does, I will hire Kevin to go and throw a tomato at him or something, because that's ridiculous. I know you're only joking, by the way, Saya, but it's... Piastri just followed his racing line, and Norris went into the back of him. And I want to see it again, because it may well be it was one of those situations where Norris has just kind of just tagged him hard enough to send the front wing under his car. It may not have been that big an impact, but yeah, Jamie will do it. So there you go. Yeah. Red Bull would be kind of surprised to do more development this year unless they genuinely think they have 0 chance next year. Well, Christian Horner has said that he thinks it's naive to think that they would have the best engine next year, but it's a curious one again. We had this in 2014. Lots of new chassis regulations, but also the new power unit. So Mercedes may well have the best power unit next season. But if someone could absolutely nail the aerodynamic regulations, that could offset some of that, if not equal things out a bit. So Red Bull might not have the best engine next year. They're building their own with Ford, of course, for the first time. But if they've got a great car aerodynamically, they'll be in the mix somewhere. So it's going to be interesting to see. But it is nice to see. I'm going to say something now. I feel like I'm warming to George Russell. I don't know what it is. All that grief I gave him in winter testing, and then come into this season and I buy a Mercedes shirt and that's it. I'm a Russell simp. It's terrible. It's terrible. Zach Brown, Kevin, if he says that Piastri didn't leave Norris any room, I'd be surprised if Zach did, to be fair. He's a racer. He knows how these things go. So Honda Aston Martin, question mark, says John. Yeah, that's another one question. Yeah, they've got these new power unit as well, so aerodynamically, Adrian Newey might do something incredible, but is the engine going to be where it needs to be? We'll see. So, what a turnaround by Sauber this season, finally being able to battle for points. I had a feeling this season would be better, but 20 points from 10 races is good return so far, says Pascal. Hold up, there's a small boy on the podium. Yeah, that's Kimi Antonelli, I think. Is it? I'm watching now. We'll watch the podium because I want to see if he drinks. Or if someone comes out with a fruit shoot for him, he's got to spray that. He does look so young, doesn't he? Up there, because he is so young. He's 18. I mean, let's be honest here. Antonelli's had a couple of rough weekends, hasn't he, or tricky weekends. So to bounce back with a podium this weekend is a really big boost for him. He drove really well. Good lap in qualifying. Obviously not as good as his teammates that, but still a good lap in qualifying. Great start to get ahead of Piastri. Drove really, really nicely. Some good defending when he needed to as well. Good pace around the pit stops, getting right in the back of Verstappen. He's, yeah, okay, fine. Norris and Piastri were coming at him. That collision at the end has probably helped him a little bit, sort of taking that pressure off, but he still deserves that. He still worked his backside off for that podium, and it's a thoroughly deserved podium. Great drive. Bono there as well, celebrating with him, so really happy for him. Russell and Verstappen spray the champagne. Antonelli gets his fruit shoot out, and there we go. It is all over in Canada. I wish somebody gave him a fruit shoot now. There you go. A slush pupper, yeah, nice to cool him down a bit, but yeah, great stuff. Really, that's a really happy podium as well. And it's isn't it funny? You look at that, somebody coming in and watching, sort of looking at the top two and going, oh, another one, pole second, first and second in the race. Oh, boring. You watched the whole race. I said it was a slow burner, and it was decent throughout, and then we got to the end and it just went bang, quite literally in some cases, and it all kind of came together. In fact, I think somebody in chat said we're getting to a point here where this is going to be the top five converging at the end, and that's sort of what we had, didn't we? I mean, Russell and Verstappen fairly okay in the end, but great stuff. A freeze pop, yeah. Someone comes in with a McDonald's milkshake. Oh, that'll stink, wouldn't it? Oh no, don't do that to them. Apparently got the biggest cheer from the Fan Society canvas, so yeah, really happy for him. So questions then, keep them coming, because if you ask me a good question and I give a good answer, Sam might steal it for socials. So we can talk about Sam's beard if you want. He'd be happy about that, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm not. No. I won't be watching the movie MD Games. No chance. Austria next, of course. Yeah. Love Austria. Good track, that. Followed by Silverstone, which I'm not going to this year again. It's just too expensive. We're not going to get into it again, but yeah. So Antonelli, Piastri, Ocon, Leclerc, Sainz, Gasly and Stroll noted for safety car infringement, so we'll keep an eye on that. Start-finish straight incident involving Norris and Piastri noted for causing a collision. I don't think that warrants a penalty for Norris, honestly. That's one that he's taken responsibility for. Piastri was able to carry on. Norris came off the worst, and it's two teammates. That's generally one that the stewards will say, you guys need to sort it out, but we'll see. Jack's going to Silverstone. Do you know, Jack? All these times I've said how much I like you, you didn't even buy me a ticket. I'm devastated, mate. I'm devastated. That one drink I bought you and went to Birmingham, just not pay me back for that, yeah, you mate. It's terrible. I'm appalled. I think 1 pint warrants a £500 race weekend ticket. I think that's a fair trade. Not being serious, of course. But yeah, I'd be surprised if it's any sort of pen. If it is a pen, that would have to be a grid drop, wouldn't it, for the next race? So, you didn't get it. Oh, if it was a free ticket, Jack, I'll let you off, mate. There you go. Pascal goes to the Hungaroring. Talks to the fiance. Yeah, well, I don't know what to say to that, Jack. I'm going to roll on. It's too bad they end the race on the safety car. They should require at least 2 or 3 laps at speed. So would you prefer a red flag, Kevin? Is that what you're getting at? Would you have liked a red flag there? Mars said he got the pen of the DNF. Exactly. I mean, if he punctures Piastri's tyre, Norris carries on and Piastri carries on, and Norris ends up 7th and Piastri is 9th, then probably a penalty, but otherwise he's done, isn't he? It's sorted. So bunch of drivers being no technical infringement. Thank you, John. I've read those out, mate. We'll see what happens there. I'll just check the group chat and see what's going on here, see if there's anybody said on what they are, but I don't think so. No, nothing at the moment, so nothing to say what that would be for. I'm trying to think what safety car infringement would be, because they're all going through the pit lane, weren't they? So it might have been not sure, to be honest. Let me know what you think, chat. I'm trying to think of what the safety car infringement could be in that situation, but yeah, I don't know. Let's have a look through the order, see what we can. So Kimi Antonelli, as I say, great drive this weekend. Nice way to bounce back from a couple of difficult weekends, or a few difficult weekends, really. Not getting the results he wanted after an okay start to the season. Great drive, great qualifying. Good job up against his teammate, as it turns out. Drove well to overtake Piastri at the start. Did well to defend. Some really nice driving overall. Great result for P3, so really happy to see him up there. I think Leclerc actually P5, given the complaining on the radio and the fact he started in 8th. I think it's not a bad result for him today. Would have liked to have seen a bit further up, but not going to happen today. Hamilton just in a race of his own, wasn't in the end, with his little bit of damage there after whatever happened. So apparently they overtook Max after the finish. Apparently Max was snitching on them in the cool down room. Yeah, cause no, that's, do you know what, John? Yeah, that's a good point, because that was still under safety car, wasn't it? Because the safety car came in, but it only comes in for, they are investigating after the race. There we go, and they will investigate the Norris Piastri one. But even though the safety car comes in, they are still under safety car conditions, because the safety car comes in so that the driver gets to go across the line without the safety car there for photos, and it's all PR nonsense, I'm sure. But it's just a cleaner run over the line, basically, and that's why they do it. But the safety car is still out, so if you overtake after that, I suppose, yeah, it is a safety car infringement, isn't it? Even after the race, it's still under safety car. So if that's the case, could be Delta time as well. That's a good point. Huh. Interested. So, look, I mean, that's a lot of people to potentially get penalties, isn't it? Which could put Piastri in a right mess. But we'll see how we go. Extra time in football. I like that idea. Yeah, I like that idea. 10 car gap's a good shout, like I say. So, yeah, intriguing. So, drive-through in lieu of time penalty in lieu of a drive-through is a 30-second penalty, isn't it? So that's Piastri out the points, Antonelli out the points. It puts Leclerc 3rd and Hamilton 4th, Alonso 5th, Hulkenberg 6th, Ocon 7th, Sainz 8th, Bearman 9th, Tsunoda 10th. But then you've got Leclerc as well, so you'd knock him out, Gasly out, Sainz out, Stroll out. Would that be points for Colapinto then? 1. And Ocon's already investigations as well anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. That's going to get very messy. So, I guess stay tuned. I love you all dearly. I'm not going to stay live until about 3 a.m. when they finally make the decision, because that'd be crazy. But, yeah. Those contract negotiations will be much nicer for George with Mercedes after this, says Jamie. Look, if, I can't say if enough because somebody will start. If, and I don't think they are, but if the Alonso to Alpine rumours are true, and that's what these conversations with Flavio Briatore really are, and it's not just lunch with his new Bezzy mate, or his Bezzy mate for many years, to be fair, then absolutely my money's on Verstappen to Aston Martin, at which point, if you're Mercedes, tie down George Russell. Don't let him go. I'm not just saying that based on one win. We're not just talking about one win here. I would never just base this on one win at all. George Russell this season, though, when I go through his results, 3rd place in Australia, 3rd place in China, 5th in Japan, 2nd in Bahrain, 5th in Saudi Arabia, 3rd in Miami, 4th in the sprint there, 7th in Imola, 11th in Monaco, but 4th in Spain, and a win in Canada with a pole position and a fastest lap. I mean, it's not, I'm not basing this off one race result, but I think George Russell, on the first 10 races alone, with his consistency for the most part, a couple of outliers in there. He's had bad weekends, of course. Everyone's going to do that. But he thoroughly deserves a contract extension at Mercedes. I think he's earned it. I think he's made his case for, you should be signing me up. The problem is, if you're Mercedes and Max Verstappen, who is a driver who it's widely known or believed Toto Wolff sees as the one that got away from Mercedes, as long as he is potentially still available on the market, Toto Wolff is going to be reluctant to lock down his lineup unless he's been told outright by Verstappen it's not happening, because George Russell's doing a great job. But if Max Verstappen's available, you've got to wait and just see what happens. But the counterpoint to that argument is, if they wait too long, how long before Russell starts talking to an Aston Martin, for example, or somebody like that? So it's a really difficult situation Mercedes are in. But looking at the results, based purely on results, there is no reason not to re-sign George Russell for next year and beyond. But looking at the driver market, there is potentially a reason not to sign George Russell for next year and beyond, and that is Max Verstappen. Obviously, I know Verstappen has a contract until 2028, but he's got clauses in that contract. Contracts in F1, there are always ways out of them. Lots of drivers. Nico Rosberg signed a new contract and then retired at the end of that season. Sebastian Vettel was contracted to Red Bull, left and went to Ferrari. There are always ways out of them. Always a way out. So as long as Verstappen is at the very least asking questions of other teams, are you interested? People are going to leave seats open, because you cannot pass up that opportunity to sign Max Verstappen. Because if we believe him and he doesn't want to be around for too many more years, then you want to grab him while you can and get the best out of him. So again, results to me, George Russell absolutely has earned a right to that seat again. But if Max Verstappen, until he comes out and flatly says, I ain't going anywhere, you've got to keep your options open. It is difficult, though. It is difficult. I wouldn't want to be a team boss. It'd be difficult. It would be so hard. I mean, Verstappen and Russell as a lineup could be interesting. Lando Norris is talking to Rachel Brooks, so I'm going to quiet for a second. See what he says. I imagine just sorry. Nobody to blame but myself is what he's saying. So he's apologised to the team and to Oscar publicly. There you go. And he's glad that he didn't ruin Oscar's race. So again, what? There's no point debating it. We all said it live, didn't we? That was Norris's fault. In fact, I think I said, "What the hell are you doing, Norris?" Or Lando. I think I went Lando, but yeah. Yeah. Things I want to say, but it's in this day and age, you can't, because you just get so much shit for it when you don't mean anything by it. So maybe not. But I don't think Merck is worrying. Kimi might be as fast or faster by the end of the year. Maybe they get Chuck from Ferrari. Chuck, I love the phrase Chuck. Look, there's no need for Mercedes to panic, is there? They've got a good driver in Kimi Antonelli. He's still up and coming, and yes, he's had a podium today, and he's had some good results, but he's got a long way to go yet. And Russell is driving very, very well this season. Arguably one of his best seasons so far, if you look at the first 10 races and the results he's got. So, they've got no reason to panic. But if Max Verstappen is available, you've got to ask the question at the very least. Oscar Piastri says he hasn't seen the incident, so he doesn't really know what happened. See, drivers can't see anything in the mirrors, can they? Yeah, Aussie P says, if Lando's taking responsibility, that's how it goes. So there you go. It's really straight. I touched on this yesterday, and a few of you said it's because he's quite boring, but no one's talking about Oscar Piastri, and no one seems overly invested in this championship fight. And we're not hearing about Verstappen versus Norris. We're not hearing about Verstappen Norris versus Piastri, or Piastri versus Norris. We're hearing about Verstappen versus McLaren, which I think tells you where we're at in F1 at the moment. So yeah, you kind of would have been from maybe making things a bit more exciting off track. I don't know, people hate this because I hate the fact that F1 is, it's always been an entertainment business. It's sport and entertainment, but it's definitely going more down the WWE route in terms of its priorities rather than the sport itself, I feel. But it could have just done with maybe Norris blaming Oscar and then Oscar blaming Norris, and then just a bit of tension in there, but they'll all go shake hands and sort it out, I'm sure, which in some ways I suppose is a nice way to deal with it too. So I am from abroad, please. Is Lando an English name, says Alan. Hey, Alan. Thanks for popping along. I mean, he's Belgian English, isn't he? Is Lando. So it might be a Belgian name. I'm not sure. Someone will tell me in chat. I'll see if I can find it on the famous Wikipedia. But I know nobody called Lando apart from Lando Calrissian and Lando Norris. They are and I don't know. Well, I've met Lando a few times, but Norris, not Calrissian. But I'm not sure why his name is Lando. Whether maybe his dad was a massive Star Wars fan. I've never looked into it, to be honest. And now you've got me intrigued. Someone will know. I bet it's not even on here, is it? Yeah, because he was born in Bristol. Mother's Belgian. No. He tried horseback riding when he was a kid, then quad bike and motorcycle riding before moving into karting. There you go. You learn something new every day. Is it a Star Wars name? Is it because his dad was a massive Star Wars fan? If so, then I think I really like Lando Norris's dad. I think that's really, really cool. I would have called my first kid Soul Survivor because I'm a massive Fallout fan. There you go. Lone Wanderer. Vault Dweller. His childhood friends were Han and Chewie. There you go. Italian and Germanic origins often associate with the concept of land, says Kevin. So there you go. That's interesting. The problem is if total size max, it would benefit them in the short term, but that could hurt both Antonelli and Mercedes in the long run. Well, I think Antonelli they stick with, wouldn't they? Look, I will say this as well. If George Russell were to leave Mercedes and they did say chase Max Verstappen and get him and put him alongside Antonelli, Russell will not be short of offers. There'll be a seat at Red Bull available. Who knows what's going to happen at Ferrari in the next year or two with the way things are going there. There might even be an opening at a McLaren. Let's see what happens at Aston Martin with Fernando Alonso. So Russell will have offers, so he wouldn't fall off the grid. And I just think he's done enough to earn that seat for next year and beyond. But you've got to... As I said about Aston Martin a few weeks ago, if Verstappen's available, you've got to keep your options open unless he turns to you and says, no chance, which is probably why other teams are tying their lineup start for next year already. Sauber will be sorted in no time. Should have named him Orlando. Give him an advantage in Florida, says Curious. I need to name my son Rancor, says CPV. There you go. So there you go. We answered the question sort of, Alan. Sorry it wasn't more definitive, but it's not an English name. But it's a French and German origin. Craig's saying the same now. Lando means famous throughout the land, glory to the homeland, or famous land, says Craig. Also stands for running into back of team. He doesn't really say that, no. So there we go. I keep saying Toto needs to stop the BS and just extend. Is that King George Russell? Kaori? KGR? Yeah, he might do. I think... I don't want to get into it too much on Verstappen. I think his options are staying where he is or Aston Martin. I think... I've never really bought into the Mercedes links as much as other people have, but I've also been watching F1 for... well, since 1992, so whatever that is now, 33 years. So I know that these things can change like that. So, yeah, we'll see. But it depends on these alleged clauses that Verstappen has. Some say that it's if he's below third by the summer break, then he can go somewhere else. Some say it's the end of the season. Some say it was last week. Some say it's in 2 months' time. Some say if his left butt cheek is in line with the sun 2 Wednesdays from next week, then he might be able to leave. I don't know what the clause is, so unless we know that, then we'll see. But there's a reason they're contracts, we don't get to know them. So I thought Lando was what pirates shouted when they were in the crow's nest. Jack, I've missed you, Jack. I've missed you. Race questions. I said we're going to do race questions. I said we'd overrun. Of course we're going to overrun. Let's go no later than 9:30 UK time. Another 20 minutes. So if you've got any questions, let's do it. Max going to AM will be the end of Verstappen. I don't buy the hype of that team, says Louis. I think he'd be better off staying where he is. I feel like worst case scenario next season, Red Bull are going to be third fastest. And if they're third fastest... third or fourth fastest, he's still going to have a shot at winning races and pick up podiums, isn't he? So I expect your pecking order next year will be different, but the same team. So you're still going to have your Red Bulls, your Mercedes, your Ferraris in there, your McLarens as well, potentially. Although customer engines might be a bit trickier. You've got a works engine. You're building the engine and the car together. They fit nicely together. When you've got a customer engine, as we've seen in the past, you then got to fit that engine into your car, so it's a bit trickier. So there might be some compromise that has to be made from McLaren to do that, so that might bring them back a little bit. But I expect Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari and Co to still be up there next year. So if Verstappen's got a car that's third, fourth fastest, he can still win races and podiums in that. So I don't know why you'd... Aston Martin's a gamble. Adrian Newey is an amazing man, but he is just a man. So Karun's just analysing this incident. I don't know why we're analysing it. It's so obvious what's happened. But we'll watch it anyway. He's saying that Oscar covers it off. Which is so... He does... I mean... Oscar is moving left. I agree. But that is also one of the many racing lies down that start-finish straight. He's not come wildly across. I'm not saying that's what Kroon's saying, but he's not come wildly across, has he, to defend? He's just indicated that's where I'm going. Norris then needs to switch back to the right, and he doesn't. And it is quite a whack, though. It is a wallop. It's not. I just thought it might be a little tag, and he's lost his front when it's gone under the car, but it's a pretty hefty whack. And that's the end of that. That is the end of that. No, I don't think that. Sorry, Si. It's just to confirm anyone listening to me there. I'm not saying that they're trying to paint Oscar as a villain. I'm just saying Kroon's saying that he's moved across to make it clear that he is taking that line. But that is also one of the many lines down the start-finish straight. He's not saying Oscar's caused the incident or anything like that. He's just making the point that he has moved. Because when you look at it from other angles, he doesn't look like he moves at all. But when you look at it from the rear angle, he is certainly coming to the left, but no more than you'd expect someone to do if they're taking that line. But now they're showing a 2011 incident, which is more clear-cut there. So, yeah, that's a good point, Kevin. Oscar isn't really moving to the left. The track is curving towards the right, or even a bit of both. A bit of both, maybe. They have shook hands in the pen. Oscar says, "I'm going to steal your underwear." He didn't, but yeah, they've shook hands. They're fine. It's all done. And that's the end of that. And now we're going to find out what Danica Patrick thinks. Do you think Lewis could be a dark horse to go to Aston Martin if Alonso leaves the shit? No. No, CPB. I was shaking my head before I even finished that one. Sorry, mate. No. No. Lewis will finish his career at Ferrari. When that will be, he's not leaving at the end of this year. Or that's just... just be wary. You're all smart enough to know this. We've got a great community here. You're not daft. Just be wary what you're reading. If things get a bit dull in this championship fight, and it is a one-horse race of Piastri disappearing with it, then people will start to get desperate. And yeah, so I look, just be careful. I think all this around Lewis Hamilton retiring or leave it at the end of the year, I don't see it happening. Lewis Hamilton will be there next year. Whether he leaves at the end of next year is another question, but I don't see why he would leave at the end of this season, even if he has a miserable year. I just don't see him going, but you never know, do you? But I just don't feel it. So I think Leclerc and Hamilton will still be at Ferrari next year. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. I think the problem at Ferrari, I don't think the problem is Fred Vasseur. I said that a few weeks ago. I don't think the problem is Charles Leclerc. I don't think the problem is Lewis Hamilton. Don't forget, new team, new power unit, all of that. It's all factors that you have to take into account, even for a 7-time world champion. That's all still stuff he's got to get used to. So, yes, we're 10 races in, and things do sort of feel like they're coming together a little bit, but not as much as maybe we expected. All the hype pre-season over the winter, for example. But I think they will be there next season. I see no reason why not. The question mark is over Fred Vasseur. But even if he goes, who do you replace him with? Who is there? You look at what Alpine are doing. We said this yesterday. What Alpine are doing, they are trying to find someone to replace Ollie Oakes, they're really still trying to find someone to replace Cyril Abiteboul, aren't they, from all those years ago? They're still trying to replace him, and they've never managed to quite do it. So who the hell are Ferrari going to get? And if it's a promotion from within, are they going to be any good? I think there comes a point where you have to look at Ferrari and say, what else is going on? And what else needs to change? And Fred Vasseur kind of said that this week. He said, we've changed the manager, if you like, the team principal, several times. We've changed the drivers. We've changed the car. What else do we need to do? So I think there's a culture at Ferrari which is honestly part of the reason why I love them. But it's... maybe entitlement is the wrong word. But it's the expectation around them is so huge, and the pressure is so huge. But they haven't won a title of any kind since 2008, and arguably 2008 was because... yeah, let's not get into it. But they haven't won a title of any kind since 2008, yet there's this feeling that because it's Ferrari, they have to be winning, and they have to be winning the title. But actually, it's been a long time since they've done that. So maybe they need to adjust expectations a little bit. And when you go through F1 history, Ferrari have had some great success over the years, but it's not like they've been always winning the World Championship. There have been big gaps between them. It was best part of 2 decades between their last one and Michael Schumacher taking their next one in 2000. You know, so they haven't got a God-given right to winning titles. I'm not saying that's what they think, but that seems to be the pressure that's on them, that they're expected to win titles and win every season, and they're not going to do that. So is Fred Vasseur the problem? Probably not. Are Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton the problem? Probably not. But maybe we need to be looking at expectations around Ferrari, but also stupid BS, quite frankly, like we have again today on Team Radio. We're thinking plan B, plan B. No, I want plan C. My tyres are fine. Copy. Why did you bring me in? We've put you on plan B. I get that teams have all the information and they have more information than the drivers. But if your driver says his tyres are fine and wants to move on to plan C, listen to your driver. He's the one driving the car. It's strange. Roy Keane voice. This is Ferrari. You cannot be doing that. This is Ferrari. Drivers should be making their own choices. Graham Souness voice, and you've got to ask yourself, where was Paul Pogba in all of this? You know, God, good God. But I don't know. I think I'm guilty of it as well. As a Ferrari fan, I think, well, Ferrari, you know, when Ferrari are winning, everything feels right in Formula One and it's proper and they should be winning, but they don't have a God-given right to that. And maybe, again, me as a fan and anybody else a Ferrari fan, maybe we just need to adjust our expectations, but particularly the Italian media. And it's not just an attack on the Italian media, by the way. It's just the pressure they put on Ferrari and team principals. How many team principals have they had since they won that title in 2008? And how many titles have they won? None. No titles. So there's something not right there. Chop and change your manager all you want, but it's clearly not making any difference to anything. So I'm waffling a little bit because I'm trying to get my head around sort of what I'm trying to get at, but also why the things are the way they are at Ferrari. And I don't really want to put any blame on Fred Vasseur's head at all. But if those reports and rumours were true, that at least a question was asked to Christian Horner, then clearly Ferrari aren't totally happy. And with Fred Vasseur's contract up at the end of this season, they are going to shop around if they're not happy. But I don't really think he's done an awful lot wrong. And I certainly don't think the drivers are an awful lot wrong. I don't think Lewis Hamilton's having, I don't think this is controversial, a particularly brilliant season, but also it could have been a lot worse given that he's got a brand new car and a brand new team. So, you know, he's 6th today behind his teammate. Not awful. Yeah, right, he's a bit behind in the championship, but he is picking up points. He's got their only win of any kind this season in a sprint, for goodness sake. So it's not as bad, I think, as people paint it to be, but because it's Ferrari, it suddenly looks like an absolute catastrophe. I think they need to be looking more at strategists, maybe even engineers. I don't like the idea of people losing their jobs, but maybe rather than shopping for Christian Horner, should they be talking to and I'm not suggesting these two specifically, but somebody like a Giampiero Lambiase or a Peter Bonnet, somebody like that, you know, a Bono or a GP, somebody who is able to manage those situations better than their current lot are. But I know Ferrari are quite a closed shop is probably the wrong phrase, but they do like to sort of keep things in-house, don't they? And they do like to promote from within and sort of really push the Italian thing, which is totally fine. That's absolutely fine. I love it. You know, I've got my Italian roots as well, so that's probably part of it. But I love that about them, but also sometimes you have to admit when it's not working, and maybe that's where the change needs to be. Rather than your team boss or your drivers, maybe it does need to be your engineers and your strategists. But something's got to happen. They should hire James Vowles, says CPB. I'm just frustrated with them, and it's not even the result today. I don't think 5th and 6th is a bad result. It's some good points, but I just look at the strategy again, the tetchiness on the radio this time between Leclerc and his engineer, and it just doesn't look good, and something's not right there. And again, for the 5th time, it's not Fred Vasseur, and I don't think it's the drivers, and I don't think the car's that bad either. It's not great, but it's not that bad. We've seen worse. Remind me of 2020, goodness me. Kimi Antonelli in his very nice Mercedes shirt. I like that one, mate. I think I might get mine out next week for Austria or the week after. Smiling, very happy, as you'd imagine. So thanks again for doing this. I've been listening for about 30 minutes behind the live stream. Just got to the end of the race. McLaren will surely need to back Oscar now, especially if the others have caught up, says Locomotive Models. No problem at all. See you in about half an hour when you catch my response to your question then. But yeah, thank you so much for popping along, mate. Appreciate the company this weekend. Good to see you yesterday as well. So just check these investigations before we start to get ready to sign off. See what's going on. Nothing in yet on the FIA investigations. What race are we? Canada. Yeah, nothing yet. So I think it'll be a good couple of hours yet before we hear anything. Oh, Kevin. Kevin's going in a second. Thanks, Kevin. Quick question before you go, mate, if you are still here. How did the recital or the concert go the other day for your daughter, just out of interest? I hope it all went okay. If I don't catch you, then I'll ask next week. But yeah, let me know if you can, mate. Would appreciate that. But enjoy your barbecue. If not, hopefully you can have a burger on me. Not literally. That would be weird, but yeah. I do hope Kimi doesn't lose his podium to the yellow flag infringement, but if he does, it'll be Hamilton in third. Yeah, because, well, yeah. Yeah, because it's Leclerc investigation, is it? Not, yeah. He will be third. Good point, yeah. So I might be celebrating a podium in a minute. I might be. Are McLaren worthy of winning the driver's title? This is to be trying to do everything to not win it. I think Piastri's doing all right. I don't totally agree with that, John. I think today Norris was trying to do everything not to win it in that moment. But I don't think Piastri's doing much wrong at the moment. Australia had that mistake, didn't he? But largely he's been pretty bang on. I'll ponder that. That might, in fact, I'll tell you what, that might be one I ponder later. Kevin says, by the way, for anyone interested, she played in front of 400 people, really big. She was perfect. I was so proud. Thanks for asking. No problem. I'm really pleased it went well. I was thinking about yesterday, actually. I meant to ask you yesterday, but I forgot. So, yeah, glad it went well. 400 people is a lot. That's a lot of pressure, but I'm glad everything went well. So, you should be proud, mate. Go and enjoy your barbecue to celebrate. But, yeah, congratulations. That's awesome. F1 really needs to get a camera in the steward's room. Watching them roll dice to decide penalties will be entertaining. I'd say, I don't know if I want that, to be honest with you. I've got to be honest. I sort of nodded and went, that'd be great. And then I remember when we got the FIA to team pit wall radio transmitting, I was like, oh, God, no. I don't think, no, because I'm just thinking back at what John was saying, and he's made the point himself in chat there. It was McLaren, not Piastri. But I think... I don't know. If they keep going the way they are, I think Verstappen, with that consistency I was talking about earlier, will probably nick it. But I just think Piastri at the moment, as long as he does nothing wrong and the team are at least doing the minimum of getting the pit stops right, for example, he should be fine. But we'll see. Remember they recorded driver briefings. Can't speak, and how bad they were. Yeah, but we got the cool Sergio Perez meme, didn't we? That face he pulled. Like, but yeah, I don't think that I can't stay live to see what these results are going to be from the stewards. It's going to be hours yet, so I will be closing things off in about 4 minutes. So yeah, apologies, but I'm hoping nothing comes of it. But safety car infringements, much like red flag infringements, can be pretty slam dunk. So we'll see what happens. But I don't really want to see. I mean, rules are rules, aren't they? If they've broken safety car rules, they'll absolutely deserve the penalties they get. But it'd be such a shame to see Antonelli drop off and Piastri lose those points and Leclerc to drop out the points. But then at the same time, it'd be great to see, maybe Colapinto in the points, for example. So and Tsunoda picking something up. But we'll see. I've not seen. There's not even a document yet from the. Oh, there we go. Here we go. They're not decisions. This is a good one to read, actually. Just a second. This is the Stroll one, a decision from in the race that some of you agreed with and some are baffled by it. So, the stewards reviewed the video, the timing and in-car video evidence. Stroll was defending his position against Gasly between turns 12 and 13, going offline to the right of the straight. Then changed direction to the left without leaving a car's width space for Gasly. As a result, Gasly was forced off at turn 13. That's all they've said. So, he got 2 penalty points for that. So they're saying, obviously we haven't seen that properly then, they're saying he went to the right, then came back to the left. That's 2 moves, and then 1 under braking, and that's fair enough. Car 55 has been, that's Carlos Sainz, isn't it? Car 55 has been summoned for alleged breach of appendix, blah, blah, blah. Car 31 driving erratically in the pit exit. So that's one I think we saw, didn't we? Just wait and see what the other ones are if they come through. Nothing just yet, but a couple have come through. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But I'm not I'm not convinced by that Stroll penalty. But maybe I need to go watch it again, and we'll discuss it again another time if anybody really cares. It's Lance Stroll, after all. Nobody seems to care about him unless it's to slag him off. So, but thinking back, I mean, if he has moved to the right to defend, then come back to the left, then you're not supposed to. That's how I can sort of understand it from that point of view. But from what we saw, he does squeeze him, but he doesn't shove him out there, does he? It's not like he's... And with respect to Gasly, it's not like he's half a car alongside or anything either, is it? So I think that was harsh, but I need to see the whole thing again. But yeah. Children weren't behaving, says Sire. Good point. Carlos doesn't have an appendix, so why they invest? Good point, yeah. Down in the game now. When it's done, I'm going to go redo the race and win it with Lando. Then I can go sleep. So sighted canvas. Fair enough. I don't know if anyone's got the F1 game. I did pick it up. It's all right. It's just a typical yearly update to a sports title, really, with slightly better handling. Yeah. Read a couple more, and then I'm going to round off because I'm going to go get a drink and have something to eat, and I don't know, clip up some shorts, I suppose, for the week, and then probably just watch. Oh, some Red Dwarf tonight. I might do. I still can't wrap my head around why they focus on developing an alternative suspension instead of upgrades, says Louis. Who was that one? Oh, McLaren. Yeah. By the letter of the law, he didn't leave room, so he did the crime and so had to take the time penalty. Harsh, but them's the rule, says Fudd. Fair enough. He definitely didn't leave a space, so I suppose on that front, then it is a slam dunk, isn't it? But it just didn't... There didn't look to be much in it, if you know what I mean. But I suppose if it is, you have to leave a space, and he hasn't, then, yeah, I'd agree with that. But also, it's racing. Let him get on with it. You know how I feel about it. You know how I feel about it now, Fudd. Let them race, and unless they're punching each other, then let them get on with it, frankly. I'm here to watch racing, not whatever people want it to be. No worries, Craig. I've missed your message, mate, but have a good one. Thanks for popping along. So I think we will leave it there. Otherwise, we're going to go back on the Lance Stroll stuff again and start talking more Ferrari misery potentially. But I was hoping to at least get the reasons through on the document. So I'll check the socials. There might be an answer on there, but generally speaking, things are quite quiet till the stewards say something. So here we go. Could be something in this one. So Eric Van, is it Haren or Harren? I think it's Haren, isn't it? Verstappen, Ocon, Gasly and Hulkenberg were given a warning last year after overtaking after the finish during at the time of virtual safety car situation in Baku. So the driver overtook other cars after the checker flag, but while the virtual safety car was still being displayed. This was from last year. So following crash at turn 2. While the drivers were aware of where the incident was, they could not have known it if emergency equipment or marshals were being dispatched onto the track, and so have to proceed with caution. Stewards are aware that this has happened earlier in the season. Okay, so last year when this happened post-race, it was a warning, but the document does say from last year, stewards are aware that this has happened earlier in the season and was unnoticed at the time. We are therefore warning the driver concerned, along with all of the competitors, further breaches may incur significant penalties. So they got off with it last year because it had happened before and they got away with it, but any future ones might result in penalties. So there could be trouble incoming. Because as I say earlier, as I understand the rules, yes, the safety car came in, but it was still safety car conditions, so they should have stayed behind each other on the lap back to the pit lane post-race. So there might be some trouble here for those. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And that's all I can say, really, I'm afraid. So we'll leave it there. I thought I'd check that one anyway before we ended it, but we will leave it there. Thank you so much to everyone who stuck around. 117 of you here and 117 likes. I'm going to see more you guys did all the likes. So there you go. Thank you very much for your support today and over the weekend, of course. Now, we're back with I think a short tomorrow. And then there'll be a long form on Tuesday. Then there'll be a short Wednesday, long form Thursday, short Friday, long form Saturday. Guess what? Short Sunday. And then we're ready to go again for the Austrian Grand Prix as well. Sam might be in a couple of those shorts. We'll see how we go, but predominantly me going forward. So don't worry, unless I get some holiday, and then it might be Elizabeth every now and again, but mostly me. And that's what you all wanted, so that's what you'll all get. So there we go. Like I say, if you haven't dropped a like, please do before you go. That'd be massively appreciated. And subscribe as well if you are new. Lots to come, as you heard there, between now and the end of next week and the end of the season. Indeed, loads of it, and I can't wait for this season. And yeah, it's shaping up quite nicely, I think. It's all going to start getting a bit tetchy, but I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean. This has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.